Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up. Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien, boy, from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain. Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits, yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain. GM, thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't already done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below. Then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We would greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo, lets everyone know we're here. And if you, the best GMer is going to drop those GMs in, not just here on the X audio spaces, but the X video feed. That's from Steve's account today. We've got the abstract feed fired up, as well as the YouTube streets are hopping. Appreciate everyone being here. Happy April Fools. No April Fools jokes from us today. We do have some fun, exciting news, no jokes. Looking forward to getting into that here in a little bit. But as always, I'm Cap, my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice on the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exceptionally risky. Go to 0 to moment's notice. Please don't follow us in any trades. We are not financial advisors. We also hold tokens we talk about from time to time. So please just join us for some information, some education, and some fun along the way. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM doing well. It's going to be a slower morning, I think, on Abstract, just because I know Finn and Logan are doing that 24-hour stream and probably absolutely dominating the stream street. So they're having some fun there in NYC. So give us a GM. Head over to all places we can. GM to Board Osaka, as always. GM RDL on X. GM Hizzy hanging out on YouTube. No jokes is knowledge. I am not a April Fool's guy. Used to be kind of called a marketer's holiday. Now it's just shenanigans. Whale had a pretty good snarky tweet about it this morning that I was down with. GM over to Mesh Teacher Katie. Teacher Katie, you may need to have a death match with Mesh because you guys are fighting to get the first GMs nowadays in Abstract. GM Pooching, Drew, Thomas, appreciate you over there as well. Anybody watching in all the different places. And of course, GM to all the friends over here in the space. Give us a like, a retweet, a comment. Up top, we have some, we'll talk about Beezie here in a little bit as well. New sponsor, excited for that. Tebow, Navigate in the House. Great clip you shared yesterday. Dobbins, Machiavelli, Pratik, good to see you. We're doing a little Beezie this morning. Dwayne, Bordo Saka in all the places. Alpha Minor, Dort as always. Screenwriter Dave, Diablito, Micro, Hizzy, Aspiring Nobody, Chief, 1 in a million, Mel. Yes, we are late. We were a little late on the start this morning, getting things going. Clay, Nick, and Ark Invest. We're going to figure this thing out. Brick it all. Kazi, pronounced Kazi as a reminder to all those out there. Cap, I'm thinking in the next, maybe half hour or so after we get the warm up the room, we'll do the old new YouTube action. I'm getting the mic thing. So apparently I need to fix the mic. Hold on. Yep, happened again. Gotta love StreamYard. We're gonna fix it
right now, and I'm clear. Yay, StreamYard. Appreciate Payne giving me the heads up on that. StreamYard, for people who don't know, if you listen regularly, you're aware of this. When you log into StreamYard, it has you choose an audio and a video device. And obviously the video is always going to be my webcam, which is right there. The audio device, I would say, I don't know, 96 times out of 100 is the correct audio device that we use. And then those 4 times, they just randomly switch me to my MacBook. So I'm yelling over to my MacBook. So anyway, GM to all everyone out there. Hope you heard me and it didn't sound too much like I was in a shoebox as we got the show warmed up. One day, this software will be fixed. But Cap GM, how you doing this morning?
GM, doing good. Actually, as I shared with you, got a, I don't know if it was, I'm trying to think what I did differently because I'm normally pretty dialed in to where my mornings flow, but massive like cramps and stomach aches. I don't really think I like kind of a new pre-workout, but not really. I've taken it for a while and it doesn't, other than gets me the tingles because it's got niacin in it. But yeah, I don't know. Threw me off quite a bit this morning. We were Steve was early. I was late, scrambling to get things connected as I was like, keeled over in half. Again, that's not normal for me. So I'm sure we'll be fine. We'll power through it here this morning. But if I look a little pale, it's not the ring light. It's actually got a curveball tossed at me like 10 minutes before showtime.
Yeah, but we ride. We'll make it work. One thing we were talking about, I'm curious people's takes on this as we go through it. We talked about, so I am incredibly bad at Telegram. It is not my go-to. When people ask like, hey, do you have a TG? Like, depending on the person, sometimes I just give them my cell phone number because it's easier to reach me there and I'll actually respond more quickly. I'm not good at Telegram. I can't create the habit no matter how hard I try. I'm okay at Discord. I'm pretty good at DMs, but could be better. But the Telegram is just a bad one for me. But I realize, when we got the Awaken Tax sponsorship, there are people who listen every day, but they'll be in and out. And I wonder if people will sign up through that through that sort of, account code. Similarly speaking, we're going to be giving away, who knows, people could win things worth hundreds of dollars on Beezie today or anytime in the next 8 weeks. We're going to be doing at least 3 claw pulls a day, or every Tuesday for the next 8 weeks. And we have the Beezie account set up, and you need to have a Beezie account. So pinned to the top, we have a ref link to sign up for Beezie. But I just wonder, I don't know how often it's going to happen. And I don't want to be creating, I'll just be honest. I can't create another channel because I do not have the time and energy to be on Telegram. And I would feel bad if I'm not hanging out in the coffee with Captain Telegram. On the flip side, I do want our, community to know when we have the Beezie ref link, when we have, $50 off Awaken Tax, when we get these sort of deal flows through. So I don't know, Cap. I know we were kind of like offline talking about this, but it's kind of decent cold open material. You also suck at Telegram. Is it just like a lost cause? Is it even work? It's like a good way to alert people, but on the flip side, I don't know. Or do we need a Discord? Like, what are your thoughts?
I don't know, man. I don't want another chat. We have, but
I just think about getting people the deals and the ability to sign up for things, and I just don't know.
Probably maybe we need a like a ref link and deals tab on or landing page or something like that, where it's not another chat, but just like, hey, here's all the things, here's all your discounts, here's your deals, here's your ref links, something like that we could refer people to.
Yeah, probably need a Need a good number. Drew said my security ears are burning giving out the cell phone number. Yeah, it's relatively sparse where I give it out. I'm not like super great on this, but yeah, as far as it goes, I don't know. I mean, the other way is sign up for an email. Sign up for our email, right? I mean, it's like we have the old email link that you could sign up for. We need a better landing page for that as well, but coffeewithcaptain.beehive.com, BEEHIIV. It's the email subscription service. But if you haven't signed up for there, I'll probably send out the Beezie link later on this week. We're going to send out that Awaken Tax link as well. Again, code Clawfee there, which we'll talk about. We'll get to the market update here in a little bit. So I'm thinking we're going to do, Cap, I think we got some news to cover. Oh man, Dort figured out how to get into the X video chat. So I'm thinking we got some news to cover. Then we maybe do around the 8:30 hour. We start our very first Beezie Claw segment, which we will talk. I'm intentionally not saying the name because I know some people are waiting for it. And market update. We got Mike coming on to talk a little bit about what he's dropping coming up. Another hyped Ordinals project. I think that a lot of people are getting excited about on that one. So we have a lot to cover this morning. So I have a general tick list, but where do you want to start? We have Gutter Cat Gang locking up money in a contract after a disappointing pre-sale. We got Brian Armstrong pushing stable coins. We got Larry Fink saying US needs to get its shit together, or Bitcoin's going to take us over. We had Lucas social currency discussion from yesterday. So a lot of stuff on the docket. What's your dealer's choice, Cap?
I don't know, man. You can take us wherever you like. Dobbin says, yes, we have a tab on our X page. I bet most people hear news from your guys' spaces. So then we just press your face and find the link on your page. That's another route we could go.
Yeah, we could. Well, the link on it's hard because you only get one link on your X page, but yeah, we need to, I don't know. It's a hard thing. Like, again, the behind the scenes is we run a whole operation effectively with a very, very lean crew, sort of me, Cap, and 1 to 2 other people at any given time. So, it's like even getting these things and keeping them moving is hard when you're, effectively just kind of building this thing together. And GM to the chat, by the way, see some new ones coming through. General Wags, Ulaport, and DB Cooper. Great name, DB Cooper on there. So did you see the Gutter Cat Gang situation here?
Situation's a good way to put it. Yeah. I mean,
yes.
I guess you could call it a pre-sale snafu, but whew.
Yeah, not the greatest. So Gutter Cat Gang is dropping gang token. I think something like I don't know. Gutter Cat Gang is like this gang token was talked about like 2 years ago at this point. I don't even know, but they talked about gang token back 2 administrations ago. They do a pre-sale for gang token. Again, I'm not a hater. I don't want to be a hater. I didn't know where the demand was for this one. It didn't make sense to me. I wasn't looking for gang. I didn't know who was looking for the gang token. I don't get the gang token. I have been relatively critical of meme coins, and it's funny because people definitely crapped on me for not being super into meme coins when they were all cooking, and I said they feel like they're kind of scammy, and I don't get the value. And like, not all meme coins are the same. I get that. There's different pieces of it, but like, hilariously, then it turned out, yeah, there were all these crazy, pumped, inflated, ridiculous valuations. It was a fake market propped up by a guy who somehow still isn't in, hasn't been extradited despite the request. So meme coins, there's value to some. I personally think utility tokens are better than just a pure meme coin. Anyway, gang goes to drop, and they sell 3.66 ETH of it in the pre-sale. I don't remember what is 3.66 ETH at today's valuations. $7.14. I don't even know at this point.
Little shy of $1 million that they were striving to raise in the pre-sale.
That they were trying to raise, but they ended up raising. I think okay, so let's do the math right here live. So they raised 3.66 ETH in the pre-sales. That is $6,838, or said differently, less than half of the price of a Taproot Wizard Mint they raised for their token presale. They proceed to then lock 100% of the money in the contract, in the staking in the vesting contract. Money Printer Go Burr had some thoughts on it, mentioned like basically I'm fairly certain that they fucked up and transferred all the tokens to the vesting contract. And sure enough, that is what happened here. I don't know, man. Like, I feel bad because I know there are people who genuinely like Gutter Cat Gang. Like, I get it. Like, there are people who are genuinely in that community. At some point, we got to stop trying to make Gutter Cat Gang happen. I don't know. Like, it feels like that's like, I want that community to be thriving. I want them to do well. But, like, I don't know, man. It feels like the original founders had an issue with the mint. That didn't go well. They rose up. They went to this big price. Then they released, a bunch of different derivatives. They never really seemed to have a plan there. Chat is live, by the way. Dorothy, the birth canal, into the chat. The money getting locked was the best outcome. I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'm just curious. Like, what's your take on? I know we have a couple hands. Like,
they're dead. I don't even know if it's newsworthy because they're just dead. I mean, the 6,900 in a presale kind of shows that. Like, I never understood what the hell they were planning to do on Ape Chain to begin with. Like, it just seems like one more, in the absolute gutter is probably the best way to put it. It just seems like one more attempt to, I don't even know what they're attempting to do at this point. Like, what is there any news? Like, what they, like, it truly just dropping gang as a meme coin and think that's actually going to do something? Like, the thing seems like an absolute train wreck, and they should just refund the money and call it a day. Just close up shop. I'm not like trying to be insensitive here, but
it's a failed business.
It is a failed business. Just, it's okay. Call it. It's like, there's no need to continue to force something that you failed. You're wasting your time. You're wasting, collectors' times. You're wasting their money. I can't even. And now, because I think I'm guessing they took some money. They probably can't call it because they probably agreed to do certain things that now they're going to have to check boxes. And I wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole. If I guess I have some I could claim, I would be, I'll be selling it for, the 18 pennies as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even do that. I'm probably not even going to mess around claiming it. It's like that bad. Like, I don't even care.
I don't even want to risk claiming it based on what I know to be true on this whole contract situation, just because, like, I don't know, man. Like,
I saw a comment from Quit. It doesn't even look like it's that bad. Like, he said they could have fixed it and did it yesterday if they want, or they could just wait a day and everything unlocks today. It's like it was a minor snafu that they just instead of fixing, they just chose to wait.
Yeah, I just wonder. I'm going to go to Jed in a second here because I know Jed, a once proud GCG member. George said, don't they have a bunch of money from the banana bill? Quit also posted something that wasn't locked. To your point, I don't know. I don't see banana bill deals, so I have no idea. I had heard that, but I also don't know. Yeah, it's a weird.
That's why I'm saying that they probably can't close up shop because they took. I don't know. You pick the number. I heard a really big number that they got from banana bill. Hearsay, not a verified source. They should give it back. Like, if you're listening, Gutter Cat, give back the banana bill money. That would be the most respectful thing you could do at this point is give back the banana bill money.
Yeah,
because your token is a flop. It was a bad idea. They're like poorly executed, badly executed at launch, and no one's buying this shit. I'm just gonna keep it real. No one is buying gang token. There's not a single buyer. Well, I had to get back. There's a few buyers that totaled up $6,900. I could go get more money for the used vehicles in my driveway, Steve. And they're not fancy used cars either. They're like, one is I kid you not, it's a Jeep that's 15 years old, and I could get more for my 15-year-old Jeep than I could than Gutter Cat Gang got for their gang token launch. It's kind of embarrassing, and I'm not even kidding. Like, the most respectful thing to do at this point would be give the banana bill money back. Assuming they got some, it's all hearsay, it's speculation. We're big fans of Ape Chain, and they made some big changes over there. I don't know who agreed to that initial deal originally. I don't know if the numbers were right, but it feels like they're attempting to force I would say a square peg through a round hole. There's no hole. They're just trying to force something that doesn't exist. And I think there's, for someone myself who doesn't like to speak in absolutes, I think there's near zero chance of them turning this thing around at this point.
Well, I mean, they even did this deal in the hype of the meme coin mania, and I remember seeing it and being like, that still doesn't make sense, even in the hype of the meme coin mania.
But their chance of success would have been far better had they launched then, not at the depths of the meme coin bear.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it was
it's newsworthy. Maybe we move on because I'm actually more intrigued by Project 2 and Doodle founders presumably front running the Dude token. Like, this is another pre-sale. I've got feelings on this one too, and they're not great. Like, it's to me, it's bearish, not only Project 2, but I don't know what the hell's going on at Doodles, man. Julian left or got fired or whatever happened. 2 founders that aren't actively working with Doodles anymore are launching a competing token, right as Dude token heats up. Like, what is going on?
Dort in the chat, seen gutter chat last night. I need gang to pay my light bill. Someone replies, you might be able to buy a candle. Then let's do this. I agree, because
candles are expensive.
Yeah. Well,
if you shop candles recently, they have not been insulated from inflation. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't think I would get enough of a gang airdrop, and I don't hold an OG gutter cat, but I hold some of the clones. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have enough gang to even buy a nice candle.
Yeah, no,
maybe like a votive from Dollar General, but that might be it.
Yeah, candles are a better place to park your money than ETH right now. Let's do this. Let's hit let's do this. Let's do quick comments on this one, because that was actually part of my tee up. Is we don't discuss this, but it's funny, like, because we want live reactions. But my plan was sort of like Gutter Cat Gang intro into Project 2, because I thought that was sort of an interesting one as well. But let's get Jed's perspective on this. I want to get Jed, actually. Jed, GM.
Hey, GM, everyone. Yeah, so they, I mean, nobody knows this, but they raised 114 ETH pre-seed from the Kingpin DAO. So they raised 300 grand. They didn't just raise the 6,900. So I don't think everybody has all the information yet. I mean, they have a casino ready to go. That's going to be on Ape Chain. So they have some utility. They have a couple other.
Why aren't they talking about that? Why isn't that a thing?
I don't know. I don't know if that's part of Eugene's game. Like even how he posted in the Discord yesterday. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But that's definitely. I know people that contributed, and that was the number. So 114 ETH was taken in the pre-seed. I don't know why they did the public sale, I'll be honest with you, because I don't think anybody can really do a public sale in this market right now and do well. I don't care what you have. I mean, I know a couple of other projects that are looking to do one, and they have some really interesting stuff they built. And I'm just like, I don't even know who to go to ask for money right now.
Yeah, the fact that they're building a casino, which is kind of interesting with gang utility, and that hasn't been mentioned, is, I mean, or at least, look, it is our job to stay on top of the market. We are very aware of the market. I have heard nobody I have an entire list I've created of all these people who are newsmakers and people who commentate on Web3 that, both from, all, ranging from Bloomberg to the, us and the whale swooshes of the world and the beach X of the world and everybody in between. And nowhere have I seen a Gutter Cat casino mentioned. That's just really bad marketing. Like, it feels like, unless you have some regulatory reason why you cannot, I'm not sure I understand why you would not mention that part of it from day one. So you're like, hey, you want to buy this thing, so you have immediate utility day one. So that's a weird marketing move that doesn't make a lot of sense to me personally. But what do I know? I just led marketing disciplines at Fortune 500 and multinational companies. Let's go ahead and hit Joey Vowels, and then we'll keep moving through there. Joey, get in here, GM.
GM guys. So I was originally going to comment on, like, what was their business? Because you were like, it's a failed business. And I was going to ask, what was their actual business? I mean, I know they did the Mellow partnership and they came out with the sneakers. So, like, was the business to be a sneaker company? They had the basketball team. Like, what was the business? And now, apparently, according to Jed, the business is a casino. So, what is their failed business, Steve, that you said they're a failed business?
Well, I want to be careful about, like, how we talk about, like, I think sometimes we railroad ourselves in this space.
OC in the chat says it's a faulty casino. Faulty casinos don't really work too well. Make it make sense.
Yeah. Careful about how we refer to NFTs, because people are like, talk about NFTs as if they're not a product. when you buy an NFT, you're choosing to buy a product. Now, you could say it's a product where you're just purely speculating on price go up. That's fine. But like, they sold a club membership with a gazillion clones, which became a problem because your $77 clone got you the same access as your, $10,000 cat. And that was a problem a lot of people had. They did try to do streetwear deals and sell apparel, like a lot of the businesses that were coming out as clubs back during the sort of early era. So I don't want to
their business was copy pasta, the Bored Ape Yacht Club roadmap.
Yep.
It worked until it didn't. And whereas Bored Ape Yacht Club took massive swings with Other Side and everything else they're doing, very few others could do that. And so they've pivoted from an NFT business into apparently an online casino, which, okay, there's a Brazilian of them in this space, but good luck.
Yeah, no, it's definitely.
What's your value prop? Why would someone go to Steve? What would it take for you to go to the Gutter Cat Casino over anything else you have access to?
I just have to be a really good product. Period. Point blank. Like if it's a good product,
what makes an online casino a good product that differentiates it?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say specifically what would make it a good product.
Free money, perks. That's it.
I mean, free money, perks, like good.
It's such an insanely competitive industry. Like online casinos are bigger than sports books. Like it is massive, and competitors are entrenched. Like, and oh, by the way, this is seems to be the new, I don't know, our buddy Crypto Painter's been building a casino since 2021 on chain. Like there's a lot of people that have been working at this for a long time. You got, I mean, for that matter, you've got Sugartown. Like they're building a poker product, a casino. Like it's just, it's an insanely entrenched competitive industry to begin with. And then if you talk about on chain, it's like you're fighting for one little sliver of that pie with 10x the amount of competitors. It just, I'm sure someone could be successful with it. I just don't know as if Gutter Cat's going to be the one that is like the on-chain casino that breaks out and it wins, because there's way too many of them for all of them to win. And it's go ahead, Joey, and then we'll because I want to get past Gutter in a second here, but go ahead, Joey.
Well, the other thing with the online casino cap, and we talked about it the other day, is that let's say Jed just told us they raised 300,000 pre-seed. Let's say the Banana Bill number is accurate.
Good luck with 300 grand. Like you can't launch it. If you're launching a casino with 300 grand, it's an illegal casino in the US. Like they're either going to geogate and not let people in the US participate, or they're going to be available to participate in 3 states, or it's going to be illegal. There's no way around it. It's so insanely expensive to compete in those markets. You probably can't do it with 3 million. You certainly can't do it with 300 grand.
Well, that was my point, right? Let's say they got the $500,000 from Banana Bill. Let's say they have some money in the treasury. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe they got $1 million, or maybe a little bit more than $1 million. Just the development cost, the upkeep, the servers, the this, the that, and all that stuff alone. And then you're trying to compete with companies like a Rollbit, who's been around for a really long time, who has a ton of money, right? Or if somebody MGM or whoever, right? You need tens of millions, hundreds of millions to create a really competitive online casino that's actually going to steal market share.
Licensing fees per state are upwards of 100 grand per state. In some cases, the annual licensing, that's the application fee, application fee is 100 grand, 10 to 100 grand per state. Annual licensing fees is upwards of, and in some cases north of $1 million, plus renewal fees of 500 grand a year. I'm telling you, you need hundreds of millions of dollars if you're going to launch a US based casino that's going to operate in all 50 states. Most of the operating casino, you mentioned Rollbit, can't operate it without a VPN. Most of the leading casinos, they're not even here. It is so expensive. I live in Florida. There's one sports book I can use without a VPN. I can go to the Hard Rock's sports book. That's it. Or I can go into an actual physical casino. It makes no sense. It's why are so many people chasing this casino industry in this.
Well, because there's money there. The reason why it doesn't make sense is places like the United States, like, but they also know people in crypto will VPN their way in. And at the end of the day, like, there is money to be made there because casinos are incredibly profitable. It's also incredibly high barrier to entry. And to your point, the regulatory issues around it are complicated. I want to go back to Jed on this though, because I saw your hand fly back up on this because you probably have the most information. Then Cap, maybe let's talk at least on a. Let's do project 2 for like 10 minutes. We'll actually do the Beezie Claw. We'll let the room warm up. Like, retweet, comment on the room. We're starting to get a little bit going here. We're over 200 in the room now. We got a bunch over on Abstract. So actually, maybe we'll do
not everyone's going to get a Beezie Claw today. So Steve's going to pick some favorites. So probably do what he asked you to do if you want.
We are going to pick some favorites. So yeah, like, retweet, comment on the room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick
your following Beezie account. We should bring the Beezie account on stage so everyone can see it if they're not already.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do in a second here. We're going to go to Jed, and then we're going to introduce the new segment. When we introduce the new segment, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're in the Abstract chat, great opportunity. There's only 19 over there. Comment if you want to be one of these claw drawers. We're just going to keep it simple this morning. Tell me if you want a Beezie claw draw. You must have a Beezie account. We connect afterwards so I can get you your item after you do that. We're going to look at the comments on the space, and we're going to pick one from the comments on the space / YouTube X, whatever it may be.
One from each chat. One from each chat.
So we'll work on picking on one from each chat. I feel like we should give maybe potentially 2 to X because it's so loaded of people.
We could do X audio and X video spaces and then Abstract.
Yeah. So we'll do that. So let's look at X and we'll look at the sort of there. And we'll definitely get one from the Abstract chat. So go over there if you want to. And then we'll do that again. Make sure you have a Beezie account if you haven't signed up. Up top, I don't know why I'm pointing up as if it's above me on the video, because it's not. But if you look up top on the space, there is a link to sign up for Beezie if you have not. I know we've been pretty heavy Beezie on this show, so a lot of people probably are.
If you need a qualifier, Steve, we can have the chat guess what year. What year is this Samsung Mobile T-shirt from? Circa what? What year did I first get this Samsung Mobile T-shirt?
I mean, I could probably take a solid swing at that and guess it's like 2003. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick people from the various chats. And in future Beezie Claws, I might have to ask who the GOAT of basketball is and decide based on the answer there. So that could be a fun one and see how much you can buy people's opinions on that, because there is a right answer and his name's LeBron. But Jed, go ahead and get back in here and give us any other final thoughts.
No, I just wanted to say, I mean, I heard Joey say, like, what are they? I mean, in all fairness, this is the third ownership, right? So these guys are new. They're only here for about 10 months. I would just like to give them a fair shot. I mean, they're doing the 3D assets or reader for the other side. I assume that's what some of the banana bill money was for as well. I don't know. I just like to see them drop what they're going to drop first before we start criticizing them. That's all.
That's fair.
Yeah, and we have, and I think that's fair. I mean, I think the other thing that
yeah. I shouldn't come in as hot based on hearsay, but it comes from a credible source, Steve.
Like, you know what's amazing? Look at the chat. You know who's getting a claw pull today? Kyle Riggins. Kyle Riggins is definitely lying to my face, but I love it. I don't care. I'm going to believe it's true. Riggs says, so one of the polls is definitely Riggs. He goes, LeBron, Steve K. Bark. He has won me over in the last 2 years as he continues to play at MVP levels at 40. I don't know if he's telling the truth, but Riggs is getting one of the claw polls. He
also guessed 1999 on my t-shirt. No, I didn't. I was not. Samsung was not a vendor my senior year of high school, but F you. Like he's basically, if I can veto your Riggs pick, I'm going to veto it because he thinks I was working with Samsung in 1999.
He knows ball too well. I can't get it vetoed. He just knows ball. Sorry, Joe, you were going to jump in. I know this is your jam as well.
What if LeBron was drafted to like the New York Knicks and instead of the Cleveland Cavaliers? Would you still be LeBron as the GOAT?
Yes, you know why? Because if LeBron and Jordan played one-on-one 10 times in their prime,
listen,
it
wouldn't happen. The draft was fixed. LeBron was always going to land in Cleveland. The NBA
LeBron said so.
The other way. He admitted to it. LeBron told everyone, yes, the league fixed the draft. They were going to keep the Cleveland kid in Cleveland. There was no other scenario. There was like every single multiverse, LeBron got drafted from Cleveland. 100% of the multiverses, LeBron, it's the same timeline. He doesn't go to Miami in all of them, but he absolutely gets drafted by Cleveland in 100 out of 100 alternate scenarios.
Yeah, no, it was LeBron even basically said, "Hey, draft looks fixed," and said a couple of other examples, but no, I would say, oh yeah, Dort on Beezie, you can now use Relay to bridge funds in. It's actually really, really convenient. If you go to add funds, scroll to the bottom of the page, click on the Relay bridge. I bridged over funds instantly this morning. They integrated it this morning, which is awesome, working with their friends over at Flow Blockchain where they're working and getting things over to Flow. So I am loaded and ready to go. But yeah, no, if LeBron and Jordan played one-on-one in their primes, Joey, this is the thing. If LeBron and if they played one-on-one in their primes 10 times, LeBron would win 12. All right, we're going to move on to the Beezie segment. Let's go.
Coffee with Captain. Give that claw a spin. Roll grills from Beezie. Prizes within. Mystery and magic. Where to begin? Coffee with Captain. It's your time to win.
Sorry, I definitely cut Joey off intentionally there because he wanted to give some love to the Jordan LeBron thing. But I that's the advantage of having the power of the button, and it's his company, so he loves it. So look, you see, like on that video, we tried to go with a video game / anime theme for it. For the record, my daughter, who is way cooler than anybody in this space and 13 years old, said, "That sounds like an anime theme, and it's awesome," when she heard me editing this along with like 5 other potential options. So she helped us get it. Payne put together a banger video on there as well, which I appreciate. And another conversation to be had here is the AI conversation, where I had this whole AI debate that happened the other day. I had I'll share it after we do the segment, or at some point maybe on the timeline. I had a semi-janky graphic I made in Canva. It was fine. And then I had them mock up one of us with our apes, and it came out great. So I just,
We've officially reached the point, though, Steve, where, like, if we need another question, a qualifier for the chat, we could ask him, what's the total combined amount of man hours for that Beezie segment video, including the music? Like, we've reached the point where us figuring this stuff out by ourselves are very much so amateur. We are the amateurs. Payne's the professional. We're putting in, I think, as much time that it would pay to bring on a professional, but they would not deliver such a fine video. So it continues to be worth it. But yeah, we are for those that are not, or for those that say AI is a cheat, like go do something yourself and see how long it actually takes you to get a good end product like this.
Oh yeah, no, I am thrilled with it. So we're gonna pick some people. I'm gonna go with Riggs as one of the poll people. I think just because, okay, so we end up going with Clawfee with Captain. I think we go with Diego.
Wait, who suggested that? Because I owe them a claw poll.
You do. I think it was Peace Frog I heard as well, but I know Von Frutton and Dort were having a debate as well. So
I'm gonna go search in the Discord, because I think that person put it in the Discord. So I'm gonna go search who the first person that said Clawfee in the Discord and see if that's the right person.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and check that out. I mean, it's definitely a good call. We got Riggs on one. We have, and again, Pratik.
Looks like Von Frutton was the first person to say Clawfee with Captain.
I thought it was a Von Frutton and Dort competition on Clawfee with Captain. I thought it was either Von Frutton or a Dort.
I remember Peace Frog being pretty early on it. So let's do this. Why don't we I'm going to poll this morning for Riggs, Diego, because Diego is a regular and a person who we love to see and has been actually pumping about this right now. But again, we're checking the different chats and going through them. And trust me, if you're not here this week, we're not going to pick the same people twice in a row. So just keep showing up. We will definitely get you. Yeah, your one-on-one comment about MJ and LeBron. Come on, Maria hate give me the flack as well. So we're gonna go with them. We're gonna go with Riggs, Diego. We're gonna go with Dort this morning because Dort is an absolute legend. So again, for those who are out there, I think we actually
Claw and Order was the runner-up. Claw and Order was Dort's idea.
Yeah.
That was the runner-up.
Dort just said he had Claw and Order. Clawfee with Captain was Von Frutton. And then real quick, you don't have to go to relay.link to bridge. You could actually just click on your account in Beezie and you can bridge right in your account on Beezie. So you don't even have to go to an external website. We have a widget set up on the website to bridge your Pengu, your anime, your soul, your meme land, whatever you want. You can literally bridge it right on the website and start playing the claw.
Well, now I need to figure out because I thought that I had bridged. It says that I have the USDF. So Joey Vels, we're going to troubleshoot live right now. I have the USDF in my wallet, but it says my crypto wallet currently has $0 in it to do it. So we're going to try it on the claw real quick and actually make sure. Maybe I'm just seeing a little bit of an error right here, but we're going to get this thing going because I know that I bridged over. Okay, we may need to troubleshoot this morning with our friends over at Beezie. I hit the bridge and actually had $30, and now that $30 has bridged to a zero number. So we'll figure that out as we go, and we'll get these polls going in. But when we get the polls going, it's going to be Riggs, Diego, Dort, and Von Frunten.
Change network to in MetaMask.
Oh, duh. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're on Flow.
Let me turn to Flow EVM. This is called I work in tech, but I somehow don't know how to properly do it. Although now I'm on Flow. Let's go to Claw and see. Okay, we are ready to go. We have loaded funds in here, and we are ready to share. So this is me working with tech, not understanding how to switch MetaMask. Let's go.
You're also not sharing your screen anymore, Steve.
Oh, I pulled it down just to make sure I was troubleshooting on everything. We are good now. So if you're watching, actually, the way you do it is down here. So I've loaded funds that Beezie has sent over for our next, several weeks, as long with my own funds that are in there. You simply go to add funds, and you can see it over here. So I'm demonstrating how to do it. If you are on Beezie, it is that simple. It is the add funds button. But we're going to do 3 call polls. Or actually, we're going to do.
You got to know who. Yeah, got to get them in order. Like who's first, because each prize could be very, very different, Steve.
For sure. So we're going to go. We're going to go Von Frunten first. Actually, no, we're going to go Riggs because he's correct about LeBron. Then we're going to go Diego because Diego has been bumping on this for a few days now, even since we announced it. Then we're going to go Dort, and we're going to go Von Frunten last. So we're going to go the 3 participants picked from the chat. Again, if you come over every single Tuesday, you're going to have an opportunity. We're not going to pick the same people twice. So this is the only draw for Riggs, Diego, Dort, and Von Frunten. For those people. So we're going to pull it up. So again, we all follow each other on X. Do me a favor. DM me your Beezie account, and then I can send it right to you. Just DM me the link to your
and make sure you're following the Beezie account. Give them some love. They really like. Not even joking. Like Steve and I are giddy about this segment. We've been for a while. I mean, the segments are important to us. We've gotten great feedback on the segments. We really have been seeking something that not only would be interactive with the audience, but also rewarding the audience. It's not just another, same random Twitter picker giveaway. So pretty excited about this. We hope it sticks. And we want that. We'd love, like, this is going to run for a couple months. We'd love it to run forever. For it to run forever, like it's got to be effective and productive for Beezie as well. So yeah, make sure we give them some love. Make sure you're following that Beezie account, and really appreciate Pratik and Andrea and the team over there for making this happen.
Yeah, sign up for Beezie for sure if you are not. And in case, real quick, I'm just going to keep the anticipate that much longer. If you don't believe Cap that we've loved this for a while, in case you wonder if I'm about that life, 63 collectibles. You got everything you could possibly want here. Here's a box I'm going to redeem and actually open with my kids. I already did one. My kids literally begged me to redeem the first box. My daughter literally said to me, because she understands Web3, well, you could just redeem at least one of them and burn it, and you can keep the other one as an NFT if you really want. That's what my daughter said to me, because she knew I had 2. So we burned and redeemed one. My prized possession in here, you've got all sorts of things. I've got this Michael Jordan card, second greatest basketball player of all time, Oscar Robertson, a couple other Michael Jordans in there as well. Some Luffy's. I love these Japanese Unagaba cards that came out from Pokemon, these sort of sketch cards that they did. I collected a bunch of those. And then Luffy's, specifically with my kid, they love the Gear 5, so I have a couple of Gear 5s. In fact, got an offer on one of those, I believe, from Zagabond at one point when I tweeted about it. And then my prized possession, this sealed box, Mario 3, graded, the greatest, one of the GOAT games. So we're going to open up the draw now. So draw number 1 takes a second on a blockchain. We're going to get it all going. Draw number 1 is going to go to, just to make sure I double check my notes, Mr. Kyle Riggins. So Kyle Riggins, you are going to be draw number 1. We're going to load it up, and we're going to get this claw going.
Good luck.
Good luck. We pull. Oh, I love the new graphic, actually. They gave us sort of a new graphic option, which is pretty cool. Activating the claw as we get it going. Do not refresh. This is the type of thing where I don't read instructions very well. When we were leaving a store that was highly secure, I was pushing at the door, and Dawn looks at me. She's like, it says press button beforehand. All right, here we go. Claw draw. We're digging. And rigs. $13.5. Not a major pull, but you got the PSA 9 2024 Temporal Forces. I don't even know. Reliconth. This is not my that one. I like Pokemon, but not familiar with that as my jam. So we'll zoom in on it just so you can see your wonderful card. So we'll send that over to Riggs. Win is a win. We get this thing going. All right. Claw draw number 2. So that was Riggs. Claw number 2 is going to Diego. So Diego, big opportunity here. Let's get you rocking and rolling. We'll get Diego going on this one. Diego, good luck on your pull. And then we'll go Dort, then Von Frunten. Here we go. For Diego. Good luck, Diego. Good luck, Diego. Good luck, Diego. Diego giving himself a good luck, which you always like to see as well. And all right.
Hey.
We got a PSA 10. We got a Japanese of Future Flash Blitzel grade 10. So we'll get you that from the Future Flash set in Pokemon as well. Again, we'll
Steve and I are very well versed with our Pokemon creatures and characters.
I'm pretty good on the basic level of Pokemon. I'm not as deep in the game of Pokemon. By the way, another fun feature of Beezie, which maybe we'll implement, we're not going to implement today, is the swap feature, where you can actually take the cash and swap to a value they offer you instantly. So instant liquidity, pretty cool. We saw that first person who pulled the Rolex when they had it in there, pulled it, swapped for I think $6,000, $7,000 right off the bat. Put it right back in the mix. The next person who got it redeemed it because they were stoked about it. So, you can have your choice whether you want to swap or redeem, which I think is a really nice feature. So, item number 2, that's going to go to Diego. Again, Diego, DM me a link to your Beezie account. I will get it your way.
Steve, the other thing, real quick, too, before you pull the third one, if you click, for those of you that have never done this before, if you click what's inside, it'll actually show you the items, like the potential ultra rares in the machine, so you can see the items that could be worth 500, 1,000, etc. So kind of what's available.
Yeah, we'll pull the we'll show that actually in a bit. That's a great call. You can see the chase items. Dort, this one's for you. Good luck, Dort. Claw pull for Dort, going deep into the bag, pulling it out, and we have. All right, Dort with a plus EV item. A grade 8.5 Gym Challenge Koga Ditto. A Ditto. I actually am familiar with this one. I know it. Check the back of it. 2000 Gym Challenge Koga Ditto CGC PSA 8.5. A hollow edition. Again, you can keep it. You can redeem it. But Dort, send me your Beezie account. We'll get that over to you. Last draw is the Joey Vowels sponsored draw, which is going to Von Frunten. So Dort's pumped in the chat. We got him going. We're going for Von Frunten now. So Von Frunten, let's see if you're the lucky one today. Someone's going to pull something big. We're pulling enough of these each week. It's going to be kind of fun. So let's see how it goes. Good luck, Von Frunten. Banger card from JPEG Kenny in the chat. Excited about this one.
I love how Drew is telling people to crack their CGC cards and get them regraded.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting stuff graded. I'm definitely working on that. Here we go. Von Frunten, will you be the really big winner of the day? Let's find out. You know what? It may be a negative EV card. First of all, I love Raichu. And second of all, this is by far the cutest card we pulled today with Raichu. Love the look of this one. Grade 7. And also, you got to love a throwback, a little 1999, which I feel old saying that is a throwback. Also, we'll show you, as Joey mentioned, you can sort of see the overview of what's inside, how it's pulled. So you have a 69% chance at a base, 22% chance at a common, So basically a plus EV, about 31% chance, including those ultra rare 201. We've seen some of those pulled along with the top items. Obviously a good old EV hero Leafeon is a solid one. You have some Travis Scott shoes as well, and these booster boxes, which are the true grail items to me, to be honest. I love me some booster boxes. My kids and I love playing around with those, so a great opportunity to pull lots of stuff from Friends of Beezie. So we'll continue to do this each Tuesday. Those are the 4 winners. DM me your Beezie account. Beezie Claw makes for great TV. Love watching this. Thank you, Dort. That's awesome. Congrats on all the winners today. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate everybody jumping through today as we made sure we got it going. So we have 4 winners today. We will have another 3 winners next week. Make sure you tune in Tuesday. Clawfee with Captain. We'll continue to get this thing going. We'll continue to move it through. And again, sign up if you haven't signed up for Beezie. Follow their account. Not only do we always appreciate all of our partners and sponsors, Andrew and Pratik, Joey, friends, great people building an awesome product. And as I showed you, I'm not just talking about a product because they're paying us to talk about a product. I use this product. No matter what they pay us in sponsorship, it's not going to outpay how much I end up using this product because I really truly enjoy using it. So keep grinding through. But Cap, exciting times. Do you want to talk a little Project 2, or do you want to do the daily market update before we get into that?
I can go either way. Let's get into 2 a little bit, and then we can kind of segue at the top of the hour with a daily market update.
You also still have some sort of German techno music playing in the background.
I can stop that. Yep. There we go. Dance pop, Steve. That was dance pop.
Oh, dance pop. Okay, yeah, dance pop. I didn't know if it was. It felt like I was.
We will sort through our background music for future. Actually, is there there is background music in the claw pool? No.
There is sort of a background sound. However, I didn't see the music today. So there is a background sound that kind of feels like you're in like a arcade. But Teacher Katie, that was fun. Teacher Katie almost certainly will be a future claw puller. That we shall see. So, but yeah, man, once you start, you never stop. Beezie is addictive from Mr. Greenity in the chat. I agree. I will just sit there and claw pull with my kids all day. Swap, pull, swap, keep. The amount of stuff I keep just because my kids say it's cool is extremely high as well. But Cap, let's talk a little Project 2, and then we'll do daily market update. Then we'll get Mike in here as well. We can kick sort of Luca social currency conversations evergreen. I actually think Larry Fink, just to give a high like TLDR before we get into that, I did think the Larry Fink thing was just a get the U.S. economy straight line about saying in his annual chairman letter, if the U.S. doesn't get its debt under control, keeps deficits ballooning, America risks losing that position to a digital asset like Bitcoin. I think that's a sort of posturing to say, like, get your shit under control, America. And Brian Armstrong pushing stable coins again, maybe something to kick down the line. But Project 2. So I think we do Project 2, daily market update. We'll bring Mike in around sometime between 9 and 9:15 after we get that through. But you had strong thoughts about Project 2. So I'll just kind of let you kick it off.
I mean, I don't know how strong they are. It just seems weird. Timing, I don't get it, man. Like, is it I want to be a fly on the wall to Doodles. Like, what the hell has happened? What has went down at Doodles over the last 6 months? I really would like to know. I really would like the unfiltered view it looks into what's went down there.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So people have missed it, by the way. So we'll kind of give you the overview on it. So obviously, Dude token is coming soon. They announced
we got a new segment here. He is apparently Duke is also very interested in the Doodle whatever's going on.
I love the bow tie collar is electric, by the way.
We are just simply we're troubleshooting technical challenges this morning, Steve. I think you saw the other day Duke chewed up my wireless charger that is often my backup. Like, I usually charge my phone overnight. I left it off the charge last night, went to the gym. So it's running like 16% battery left. Normally, no issues. I just slap the wireless charger on the back and we're good. Well, Duke ate that wireless charger. So I had to call in a reinforcement. Fortunately, we got a backup wireless charger. Sorry for pitting out. Didn't mean to show that, but we will, good news is we're not going to end the show because my battery dies on my phone today.
There you go. Bullish for Coffee with Captain. So bullish for us to continue to get this thing going. But like, look, Project 2 drops. If people miss this, Evan Keast, Tulip, and Jordan Castro, Poopy, drop a.
By the way, we seize your warning. If you're susceptible to seizures, you probably shield your eyes. This is a very flash-driven website here.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go to the website. You can just see it's Poopy, it's Tulip, it says Project 2. Obviously, Project 1 was their OG Doodles. And there's a pre-sale where you can just yeet money into. You don't know what it's going to be. Classic stuff, classic Web3 stuff. And it's happening right before Doodles seems to be dropping the Dude token. You assume the Dude token is probably ramping up. I've heard people predict May 1st for the Dude token who seem relatively connected. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I'm getting dizzy looking at this thing. But Project 2... people are tossing a tremendous amount of money into the pre-sale. Again, not to hit too hard, but in the first 10 minutes, they raised more money than Gutter Cat Gang did in the public sale. And they're spinning up something. I don't know if it's a meme coin. I don't know what it is. At best, it fractures the community. I guess Cap, your point about it is people are saying what's going on in Doodles? People are, consistently saying that, hey, Jordan's still an advisor. We've been talking to him throughout. You would think that him, Burnt Toast, and Evan have some sort of relationship. We don't know what happened, but really in the past 6 months, or I would say probably 3 to 4 months, actually, we have had Julian sort of ousted, stepped down, whatever it was, as CEO. Burnt Toast took over. Julian with no goodbye message. He weethed all his stuff back in December, I believe it was. Under sort of a, private guise. Burnt Toast comes in, takes a little bit of a swing at him as on the way out, which, we talked about on this show as well.
A little?
It was kind of the corpo extractive thing is over. When I put it out, I got a lot of hate from dudes saying that I was reading too much into it. And they were just saying we're moving in a new direction. It spoke to the community for a lot of people. A lot of people were excited about it. Since then, we have seen Julian sell his PFP. Paunch bought it. Shout out to him as a collector. We've seen the the new direction in what they're building on base in DreamNet to take a completely different direction. They've gone dark mode. They seem to have support over there. We've seen Pranksy decide based on the new direction that seemingly is out, selling a lot of grails. So we've had all these bounce around things happen. Pranksy, like the Doodles whale, seems to be basically out. Julian selling his PFP, getting rid of that. Now we have the former founders who assumedly have equity in the company, so they would want to see the success, dropping a project concurrently time-wise with the DreamNet announcements / the Dude token, which at best is going to fracture the community. At worst,
you want to know my first thought, Steve?
What's that?
My first thought, this is just pure speculation. I know nothing. My first thought was, oh wow, Evan and Poopy were pissed about the allocation of Dude they were getting, and this is their answer to that.
Wow, that's a heck of a theory. See, my theory was just, I don't know. I don't have a theory because I can't put it together.
We're rolling right from the Clawfee with Captain right into conspiracy theories with Captain.
Yeah, it's a very bizarre situation because on one hand, if Poopy and Tulip didn't like what happened with Julian, in theory, if they were sort of pushed out or whatever, because they brought Julian in, he helped with the raise, he helped with the business setup, they got everything going. If they didn't like him, you would think that they would be all about this new direction. That's why it's almost odd that you would feel like this would make them more connected with the team. Because as far as I know, the team still connects with Jordan and he still advises. And I don't know, man. It's a very bizarre situation. I guess I'm excited to see what the Doodles teams build. I really like that team. I think they do a really good job. I really like the community. I love my Doodle. I love the art. I think Burnt Toast is a badass. Same time, I don't know that we've seen an NFT brand in such a quick, short order go from the most stable brand in Web3 possibly to the most chaotic. I would argue Doodles is the most stable Web3 native brand.
Those charts where it's chaotic good, chaotic lawful. We needed where Doodles was to where they are now. I feel it's the complete opposite quadrant.
Yeah. And it's just interesting. It's not like a FUD or hate. And I know people will take it that way, but it's like, they really have gone from the most stable, like friendly, clean brand, which I don't know was always their goal. I don't know that was Burnt Toast goal always. And I think part of it was taking back control of their company, which I totally get, to, again, just chaotic. And I don't know. Let's get some thoughts on this. I want to go Joey and then Jed on this one. Joey, get in here.
Two opinions. So the first one is like, I still don't understand the idea that like we're comfortable in this space just sending money. Like I thought we were past that after like that meta, whatever it was, a year and a half or 2 years ago. I just don't. I know that there's this whole, oh, it could be massive, so just send a little because you just don't know. But we really have no idea what this is. Like at least before with the pre-sale meta, you knew that you were sending money for a token. I guess we could assume that we're sending money for a token, but they didn't even say like this is a pre-sale for a token. Like we don't even know why they're raising this money, like what this is. And it
almost has to be a token though, because you can send variable amounts from Sol or ETH. So it almost has to be a token. Like I know you're right. Like you're saying like we don't know and we assume. If it's not a token, because if it's an NFT, it would be a fixed price, right? Or you would be getting, I guess, you get multiple
multiplier, right?
Yeah, and then there was some multiplier. Like I have a 600x on one of my accounts and just a 1x on another account.
Yes, so I guess based on that, we're assuming it's a token. So that's my first opinion. Is I still think it's kind of crazy how in this space we just send money to not random, because obviously they're the founders of Doodles, but we just send money in hopes that we're going to get something in return that's going to be worth equivalent to or more than what we send. That's the first part that I'm still just in shock about, that we're still doing this. And the second part is to your point, like I do find it like, like Jed was like, hey, Guttercat isn't talking about this and isn't talking about that. I'm really curious, like what isn't being talked about with Doodles that, to your point, that was my first thought is like, they're about to launch Dude. And now these guys are potentially launching their own coin or their own project. Like, and somebody in the war room was like, oh, well, maybe they're building something that's going to go on DreamNet. And this is their way to like raise money to build things on DreamNet. And then I question, it's like, well,
so they said in the Discord session that they're not related. So the two, I got, I couldn't attend the whole Discord session, but your point, if they're doing something on DreamNet, pretty cool. But yeah, from what I hear, they're not related in any way.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's really confusing. I would love to know what's really, like, to your point, Steve, what's going on behind the scenes? Like where, like Dude is supposed to be this major thing that's coming with connections to DreamNet and all this utility to, to take Doodles into the future. And you guys are doing something completely separate at the same time. Like there's something going on in there. And I know you just said that, but those are my two thoughts are, I can't believe we're still sending people money, and what's really going on behind the scenes here, that they're literally competing with their own project that they founded.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like, especially again, assumedly they still have equity in that thing, right? And so based on that, you would think that founder equity probably would make it so they would want to be supportive throughout, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels very on brand, I guess, for them to a degree. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just kind of their degen. I mean, Jordan was involved with CryptoKitties in like long before most of us were in NFTs. Like that was what he was sort of known for. And, Evan's been around for a long, long time. So you would think that, like, and so you would think that like, I don't know. It's like, do they feel like they've lost control? It's weird. And it's like, I'm excited to see what Doodles does, because I think DreamNet's fun. Like I mentioned before, like DreamNet feels like something they could build, and they should do, partnerships with some of those Dungeons and Dragons and Critical Role type people, Tim Woods of the world, to say like, look, they're world builders. They could do the world building. But yeah, it's like Doodles feels like it's had in a couple of years a lot of different iterations of who they are. And that's part of a company finding themselves. Companies pivot. Look, Sony started as a rice cooker company. They don't sell rice cookers anymore, to my knowledge. But that's just how like business goes sometimes. But it is weird seeing them launch in an almost concurrent timeline to a token that is launching that feels like it's going to fracture. Like, it does feel to some degree, is it like hey, we're going to launch a better token than our former company? I don't know. Like, it's a weird scenario.
The other part too that gets me is like these guys probably have done well. I told you no barbells. And if they wanted to start another business, why wouldn't they? And this is part of in this space that does drive me a little nuts too. Is like we want to start businesses with other people's money. So like if it's just
that's not just this space though. To be fair, that's business. Like most businesses are not. You don't rarely do you have a solo entrepreneur going all in with their own personal capital. Even those that are,
but they're borrowing that money, Cap. They're not taking it from their consumers to start their business. They would take out a loan and they would leverage their home. They would get private money and they would get private lenders. They wouldn't go like you wouldn't open a restaurant.
So yes, I understood. Yes, there's usually equity involved. The difference with crypto and Web3 is most of those early participants, we won't call them investors, most of them are expecting some sort of token that will be a surrogate for equity. Like most early supporters expect some sort of financial reward down the road. It's not equity, but they do so with a very similar goal in mind.
I agree. And that's just, again, that's the part of the space that I'm still, even after all these years of being here, I still try to wrap my head around is like, if this is just a token, I get it. It's a presale. If it's bigger than that, where is their financial risk if they're trying to raise all the money to start the business from just individuals versus putting their money up? And I don't know. I'm just making assumptions because this is what we see in this space a lot is, well, I want to start a business. So instead of taking out a loan or instead of giving equity away, I'm going to go raise money from people instead that have no equity with the idea of, hey, maybe in the future you'll make money off this. Again, I'm making assumptions and I'm just talking out loud.
Yeah, it's a fair question. And I think that's part of the, to Cap's point, it's wrapping your head around it. It's part of the world we live in here. And it's, we get that assumption where it's like, you can make, like, on one hand, it's like, well, that sounds silly to me on paper. On the other hand, if you had bought a Bored Ape for $280 and sold it for $400,000, you did far better than most equity investors would have done in that same scenario. So I do think that there is a sort of a level of sort of understanding there when people invest that they are taking that risk and doing it. So I think it's a fair question, but I also think it's a something that in this space we sort of learn to dance around and live with. I guess I don't know. I think you're right. Let's hit Jed, and then we will switch over. Excited to talk to Mike and Patrick a little bit here today and get some discussions about everything they are cooking up with Bitcoin Eternals. But Jed, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, I mean, I was first day Doodles Discord when they first opened it, the first 50 people in. I think everybody's underestimating Evan and Poopy's marketing abilities. I think they put on a masterful campaign, the first one with Doodles. I think they're doing it again. We're all talking about it. I think they timed this. I think this was all planned. I don't think this is something they just threw together. And I think some news came out that it was some type of gaming token. And I think Project 2 retweeted that. So I'm assuming that there's something more behind the token than just a meme, obviously. So I don't know. I just wouldn't underestimate them. I think this is all calculated. I don't think it was just something they threw together last minute. And then I just want to say about Doodles, it's funny how the meta changed. Like when they said we're not an NFT company, people were in an uproar. Then they went like more legitimate. Now they're back to NFTs, and people are upset that they went away from their strategy where they were going like McDonald's and all that stuff. So it's funny.
Yeah, it is funny how much they have covered the gamut there. You're right. I mean, it's kind of like they've been through a lot as a company when you actually think about it that way, and how, not an NFT project, it's like all of the things that they are/were, they certainly have been through, I think, more than the average NFT project in that sense. I think that's actually an astute observation you made there, as far as like what they've been through and how they've sort of gone on that journey. And so, no, it's it's definitely an interesting, I don't know. It'll be interesting to follow. To me personally, I don't know. Like I'm thrown off. I'm going to be honest, like, because I try to be honest on the show. I haven't yet. There is a high probability I'm going to just, launch some money into this pre-sale, and just being transparent that I will probably throw something small into it just to see what happens, because I don't know. Like I was also a day one Doodles Discorder, and I don't want to be sidelined if they're working on something pretty cool. And that's just my, that's my jam. So
I've spent 0.1 ETH on worse things.
that's it. Like I spent ETH on stupider things than this. So, chucking a little bit of money into a pre-sale. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Cap, before we hit daily market update and then switch over to Mike and Patrick, is there, are you going to toss money into this pre-sale or not?
I don't know, man. I probably, because I'm DGen, but I also think that's part of the problem.
We're part of the problem.
Yeah, we are part of the problem. We talk about how much we hate this, and then all of us are like, oh, I'm throwing money at worse things. Evan and Poopy are smart enough to realize that. That's why they're doing this, is they realize their odds of bringing in more money are far less if they give no information than if they go the gutter cat gang route and say, oh, here's all we're going to do, and let's do this pre-sale for this token, and then they get $6,000. Like, it's this, I don't know. I'm torn because, yes, I'll most likely throw a little bit of money at it. At the same time, God, I'll get back to a pre-sale meta. Like, it's just like, it's disappointing. Like, they don't have to do this. They're choosing to do this. And I just wish things were different. That's all.
Right. Like, we're going to participate because it's the world we live in. But it's like, if we want to be the change we want to see, we probably just need to like push against it. But the truth is, again, just being honest, my wallet says that I want to give it a try because I might make a few $100 on it. And then that'll be the end of it. So I'm part of the problem.
Yep.
Cap, that said, before we switch over, let's do one of people's favorite segments. We'll do the daily market update, and then we will switch over to this interview with Mike and Patrick.
It's market update time. Let's set the play. Powered by Awaken, the smart tax way. From crypto flips to DeFi stacks. They keep it clean. Got your back. Grab your coffee. Let's break it down. Daily update right now.
It's time for the daily market update powered by Awaken, the best way to handle your crypto taxes with integrations across top exchanges and blockchains, plus AI-powered transaction labeling. Awaken makes tax season easy, from NFTs to DeFi to meme coins. Awaken has you covered. Get $50 off with code Clawfee at awaken.tax. That's $50 off when you use code Clawfee at AWAKEN.TAX. I know there's somebody listening who hasn't done a good job with their crypto taxes or hasn't thought about it yet. You need to pay your taxes, kids. Make sure you're using good tax software. I made that mistake. I've told the story before. You don't want to end up getting slapped with a 5-figure tax bill and then a 4-figure bill from an accountant or a tax attorney to fix it. Trust me, I know from experience. Awaken.tax, code Clawfee, $50 off. It's going to get you done. Cap.
It's April Fool's Day for the majors. We were up in crypto land. Bitcoin up 1% to 83,795. ETH up 2% to 1871. Maybe we reclaim that 2K mark. Not going to hold my breath. XRP up 2%. BNB up 2%. Solana up 1% to 127. Doge up 3.5%. And Cardano up 3.96%. Tron is flat. That's our majors. Nothing too exciting. A little bit of gains. I think we continue we'll probably give it back up tomorrow as we seemingly remain range bound here. On the NFT side, though, Steve, it is a different story. We are very green. Pudgy's leading the way in volume, broke that 10 ETH mark once again, up 3% on the day. Mutants up 5% on the day to 2.54 ETH. Apes are absolutely ripping, up 5% on the day, 15 ETH. They break the 15 ETH mark, and it's seemingly all the sales. Like, I know you joked about it yesterday. I actually think the crazy eyes on the floor are a thing. I don't obsess over the floor, but I do pay attention to the market from time to time. And we haven't seen collectors collecting like this for a long time. They're not being, this volume is not farmers. This isn't incentivized bidding. There's actually buyers coming out. Like Ming bought an ape yesterday. Ming is an Azuki that's been a great content creator, very active in the space. just joined the club yesterday for the first time, and you saw, I don't know, probably did, I don't know how many thousands of views and likes, but big excitement brewing there with seemingly no catalyst coming. Something to keep an eye on. This Morph Black, once again, showing up 40% of the day. I don't know what it is. It's new, but I missed, and I've yet to go back and actually do any research. Doodles up slightly on the day, hanging on to that 3 ETH mark. Azuki down 1% to 2.575 ETH. Milady's down 5%. Quills, another new one, trading at 0.23 ETH. Little Pudgy's up to 1.24. That's up 3% in the day. And then Space Doodles. We don't talk about this ever, but should there be a much bigger gap between Doodles and Space Doodles? It's only 0.09 difference between the floors, and
I don't know if the points transfer from Space Doodles. I'd have to check on that, but it's possible that, like, it's the same thing.
So if you sell it, all those points are gone.
Correct. So yeah, so I think that might be the case. So yeah,
seems like not a great mechanic there. Should be able to realize the and I guess, and maybe that's part of the intent is they don't want those people selling. They hold through the token, but that makes sense then why it's not bigger spread.
Yeah, so I don't know, that might be the case, but yeah, so interesting market for sure. Look, Doodle's not getting absolutely crushed by Project 2, probably a bullish sign for them. Pranksy selling, it doesn't matter. Julian selling, doesn't matter. Community seems pretty locked in there. And again, I love that community. I love that team. It's just, it's been turbulent. And it's a weird, they've gone from a chaotic in a very quick period of time. But that said, excited to switch over and talk a little bit of Bitcoin Eternals. This popped on my timeline. So Mike reached out. Mike is a friend, a former coworker. Same with Patrick, although I don't think we crossed over as coworkers, a friend, somebody that I've known for a very long time in the space, deep in the Ordinals community, host, some of the biggest Ordinals spaces, and we're early on just making it happen, which we very, very much appreciate. Trying to push that space forward for sure. I would say on the culture side, they've been as big as they come. Now, on the actual development side, they're becoming a bit bigger when they're coming out with what I will put, and I'll share, some of the art here. Really good PFP art, actually. And so I'll share some of that on screen so people can see what we're talking about here. Before we get into that, I'm going to start with Patrick, then I'm going to go to Mike. For people who aren't familiar with you, Patrick, give a little bit of your background, because you have a background in music and tech and all over the place on the investing side. So Patrick, give a little bit of your background, and then we'll go over to Mike and get his background as well.
Yeah, sure, man. Thanks for having us on. Steven, sorry in a while. Cat, what's up, boss? Glad to be on the show. But yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start. I guess I've been more telling the story that, I got into architecture at 14 years old because I was, good at drawing. And it was a guy named Mike who wanted to come in the inner city and help, kids in the hood that didn't really have opportunity. And he allowed me to work at the #1 architecture firm in the state. I tell people that it was really good for me at that age because it was the first time I saw disagreements without leading to like confrontation, which was big for me. So in that, again, I had a full-ride scholarship to play basketball. I broke my big toe. They took my scholarship away. That's how I got into music. I was doing music before I went to college, but that kind of made me get heavy into music. So I was pretty much a musician and simultaneously business owner at the same time. I've owned numerous of businesses. But the music, I got, I signed a deal and ended up working with a lot of artists. I've, been fortunate enough to work with some of the biggest artists in the world and have, contributed to some songs that people listen to on the radio all the time. So in that, during that process of writing over 10,000 songs, I've wrote, 3 books, like 3 movies. I've always been very creative and a writer. I got into crypto in late 2016. I started a fund in November 2017 to raise, digital assets, for investors. So that was that. Since then, I've opened up numerous other businesses, but what my bread and butter has became is, at a high-end, luxury med spa. We do liposuction, lip injections, Botox, laser hair removal, facial, just full, full service. So, I run a chain of those up in RL now that I end up putting the culmination of everything that I learned. I still got my fund, and now, now I'm here. I end up meeting Mike through On-Chain Monkey, and we hit it off. Again, like I tell people, I got into this industry not really for money, but to again have network effects and meet other like-minded people. Because again, the way I grew up, nobody I grew up with is even into crypto, let alone tech, let alone robotics, let alone AI, like just anything that we kind of talk about over here. So I thought it was real special, and me and Mike knew when we met that a ripple in the universe had just hit, and something that changed our directions and our paths, which was beautiful. And yeah, man. So yeah, again, I'm a DJ, and like everybody here, it's good to hear the conversation up here about Doodle, just in the different ways of it. And again, I own over 3,000 Ordinals. I own thousands of NFTs. Like, I'm here for the industry to grow. I'm here to participate. I'm like the pizza guy that's like, I'm gonna send my 12,000 Bitcoin because I want this to work, right? Like, I want it to be useful. And we can't get out here and push this industry unless we participate in it and giving it the proper energy it needs to be so it can grow. So, but now we're here. We're down, up to Bitcoin Eternals. It's really, I put my heart and soul into this collection. Like during the pandemic, like I say, pretty much, devastating for like a lot of us. And it really stripped away all kind of like, because I've been successful, I've had a lot of I would say superficial ambitions, but they wasn't what I realized what really mattered in the pandemic. And so I found a new profound appreciation for life, relationships, and the power of connection. And I think art is one of those things that can like accomplish that. So yeah, I mean, I'm ready to talk about the collection. I'm really excited put this art up on Bitcoin, and yeah, man. Yeah, so that's me.
It's exciting. One question I do have for you on the personal side, which I think is really interesting, is you mentioned like, hey, a lot of the people from where I'm from aren't into crypto. They're not into tech. They're not in any of the things that I'm into. I've recently been getting obsessed. There was this video I saw from Chris Williamson, who's a creator I really enjoy, an interviewer, a podcaster, and he talked about this thing called the lonely chapter, where there's people who basically go through this time when it's like, you maybe have outgrown your old friends, but you haven't found your new friends yet. Maybe you have a couple people, but you have this like lonely time where you've sort of outgrown that. And I'm curious what it's like. You even mentioned like, yeah, when I early on, when I got involved, it was like, I could see confrontation that didn't lead to sort of, escalation or disagreements that didn't lead to confrontation. Just curious if you don't mind sharing a little bit, like, what's it like, being in that sort of lonely in between a little bit? Or did you even feel that where it's like, hey, I have ambitions and it's hard because the people I grew up with, the people I love, aren't doing the same thing. Was there a little bit of that you kind of felt, or am I projecting on that?
No, I mean, no, you hitting the net on the head. I didn't want to go too deep, but I definitely had times in my life where I would go like I've always been like an avid reader. Like, just I don't know why, I've just always had like this knack to just want to read. I want to be smarter than everybody. I want to know everything. Even when I was a kid, nobody wanted to babysit me because they called me inquisitive. I asked everybody a million questions. That's what I did. And so, yeah, bro, I hit that wall a bunch of times where I felt like I was stuck. Where it's like I didn't want to be alone, but then like I was stuck. I couldn't grow because the people around us I couldn't grow with, and I didn't really, I reached out to mentors. No one could mentor me, and that's why I'm so grateful and appreciative of the books, because I feel like the books has allowed me to have other friends, like through the art, I'm like through the author. But no, I mean, I hit that brick probably 3 times in my life where I just felt stuck. Like, I knew I wanted more. I knew it was a higher level of, intelligence, knowledge, also integrity. Because I mean, that's something that I'm a big advocate about. I do notice, and like, the better your character is, the more doors open up. And the way I was raised, it's glorified to have a certain perspective and mentality. It's like, even like, I was telling like my baby brother the other day, it's like, I told him like, bro, like, you don't want to be no hustler. Again, we raised be a hustler. It's like, no, bro, you want to create value for others, and then doors will open up for you. And so I definitely hit that ceiling multiple times. Steve would love to talk deeper off stage, but yeah, definitely hit those ceilings where I felt stuck. And it was, I wouldn't use the word depressing, but it was definitely like just waking up irritable, just wanting more, but not knowing how to get there, and so, yeah. But yeah, we talk about that more deeper off. Yeah.
No,
it's for sure.
It's very real, and I appreciate you sharing it, because I think a lot of people maybe don't know about that part. They see the result, but they don't know what happened to get there, and they maybe don't have that same piece. So I always love hearing that aspect of it, because like, to your point about it, like, like birds of a feather, I guess, probably why I enjoy that sort of stuff, because even growing up at school, I would have teachers who were mad because I quote unquote asked too many questions. Right. And it was like that inquisitive nature that, when you're reading books and kind of diving yourself into that, it's like when you can't find mentors around you, you find mentors in people who came before you and can really just be transformed into their mindset in a magical way. So I love hearing that. I love your perspective on it. And I always love giving the background. I just saw it, and I have a little bit of context, but I want to make sure our audience knows how how much you didn't just wake up one day, build a collection, and it's like, yay, everything was great. There is a winding road that it takes to get there, and I appreciate that. But Mike, want to get a little bit of your background again. I want to say when we first met, you were in some random foreign country. I can't even remember which one. At some point on a Zoom meeting.
Nicaragua. Am I right?
No, that was like a year and a half ago. No, when I first met, I think when I first met you, I was in Seattle.
Were you in Seattle? I couldn't remember. Seattle. Like, I bet you've been around, but I vaguely remember it. But I'm
Seattle.
Yeah. But Seattle. So give a little bit of your background, because actually the Seattle's a nice teaser into your background.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm super honored to be here with you guys. I was just reflecting on like the past several years, and this show is an institution at this point, and you guys are just absolute chads. Like I love what you guys do. I love the crew you guys have. Like the same fucking people are still here every fucking day, asking good questions. Giving great perspective. So just really, really, really excited to be here with you guys. But yeah, I go by good things. My real name is Mike Chavez. I came into crypto in 2017, straight up just like buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. Didn't know what I was doing. And I just stayed. I lost a lot of money on paper, like everybody did, at the tail end of 2017 there, in the beginning of January 18. And I just, I just kept with it. I knew I wasn't going to sell. I knew I had bought into something that was transformative. And at the time, I was I just started a job at AWS in Seattle, and I was actually just starting my graduate degree in computer science at the University of Washington. So while I was, educating myself on crypto, between late 2017 and 2020, I was actually in grad school focused on AI at University of Washington. And so, I had this pretty well-defined career arc where I was going to go, I had quit Amazon in 2019 and focused completely on the master's degree, because it's quite intense. And so my plan was to go back into big tech, either work for one of the big four at the time, or go find a unicorn and do that. But it was really about AI for me. And then I found NFTs, and my first NFT purchase was an on-chain monkey. I joined the team, I think 3 to 4 weeks after purchasing my first one. I was the top holder. I think at the time that I joined, I probably had around 40, and for a long time I held over, I think 55 to 60 of the Genesis collection. So I was a huge holder there, as well as an employee at the company. And I started off as a software engineer, but I was really always kind of an evangelist from the very beginning. When I came back to like crypto Twitter, because of NFTs, I'd been there in 2017. It was a super nasty place, like way nastier than it is today, if you can imagine. But I saw people starting to socialize. I saw this identity layer forming, and because of spaces, you could actually talk to people. And this was, to me, like, this was transformative, because I grew up in the early 90s. I started using the internet in the early 90s, AOL Instant Messenger. And I remember the feeling as a child, like, talking to people that were, in different countries and all over the world. And I just thought that was fucking incredible. I knew it was super powerful. And, I watched the internet kind of twist and turn, and we ended up with like the social media arc where, things got pretty nasty. And, what I saw happening in 2021 with NFT communities and people talking in Discords and spaces and everything, is like, it's actually kind of, it brought me back to what the dream of the internet, what I think the dream of the internet was, which is to really offer genuine human connection to anybody in the world, relatively frictionlessly. And the things that can develop from that, me and Polymath are one shining example, but I think you and Captain and many of the people here in this room are also shining examples of what can happen when you just connect with people because you meet them. But yeah, basically I worked at OCM for a little over 2 years. I met Polymath in October 2022 at a Vegas conference. We like hung out for 3 days straight, and we basically decided like we had to work together in some capacity. So I was able to bring him into the company, and he and I, like he came in and he just completely revamped like marketing and branding for OCM in January 2023. And this was at the exact same time that Ordinals really had just launched as a protocol. And yeah, we went on kind of like a historical run with OCM that year. Did a lot of amazing things, including working with some of the developers of the protocol to implement some of the most important changes that happened there: parent-child, collection provenance, and recursion. And we've been just huge fans of this space, since we got in. He got in 2016, after me 2017. And so we wanted to, once we left the OCM, we weren't going to just like go retire and not work here anymore. So first thing we did was we decided we were going to start our own Twitter Spaces, because there wasn't a daily Twitter Spaces for Ordinals, or like completely dedicated Ordinals. There's tons of spaces out there that are really amazing, but no one really had one every day dedicated to Ordinals. And so we really wanted to create that space so that we could really shine a spotlight on all the amazing creators, developers, just people building different products and services, even individual artists, like really especially those folks. And so, we ran everything Ordinals for 4 days a week for almost the entire year of 2024. And by my estimation, we've spotlighted over 100 different individual artists, infrastructure and developer platforms and PFP communities. And so it really is for us about growing this industry. And the way we know to do that is to really shine a spotlight on the amazing people that are building here. All the while, Polymath had approached me long ago, over a year ago, about doing Bitcoin Eternals. And at the time, like we weren't going to do anything because we were working for OCM. And once we left OCM, I basically was like, I'm never going to do what I did there for anybody ever again. I was interested in just kind of like going in a different direction with my career path. But Polymath, said, he basically laid out the vision for Bitcoin Eternals, and there was no way I could say no to this man. He's the only person in the world that I would be a co-founder with in this space, and the only person that I would put my entire reputation of everything I've done in this industry on the line for and with. So yeah, it's a little bit about my background, but suffice to say, I'm one of those people that is just like eternally bullish. There's nothing that can shake me from my confidence in how important this industry is and the people that are here every day building it.
Yeah, and I know Cap was showing the thing there. Cap, you probably need to mute music on the thing because it started to play, Mike, some beautiful music because your thing automatically plays from the actual website. So you're sharing the website as we were going, and the music popped in.
Weird, because I usually hear the music. I got nothing in my ears this time, so my bad.
Yeah, no. But as you were playing, it was funny. Like, he was not playing you out, Mike. This was not the Grammys. That was your website. But no, I actually like. So I want to. You mentioned there because you showed up. You said, "Look, I have no desire to get involved with a project, with a brand ever again. I am building my own brand." You end up spinning up this incredibly successful space, and then you said that Patrick, who can be very convincing, Polymath, one of the more he can. I think he could sell ice to an Eskimo, started getting you on board. So, Polymath, tell us a little bit about what it was. You tell us about the vision, the dream, and how you got Mike to go from never doing this again to good things is on board.
Well, first, because I didn't even let him know I was cooking like the art, and I didn't know if. So coming off of the whole thing with OCM again, not knowing where he stood. Not really knowing how our relationship would develop. I didn't initially. I didn't tell him, and so because I wasn't sure if I wanted to work with him in that capacity, like at that level, right? And so, as a couple months went past of the show, we could be transparent here. Like, we bumped heads a few times. Had some
No,
tough
no, no, sir.
conversations.
You bumped heads a few times.
Yeah, we bumped heads a few times. And I saw that, we had some tough conversations, and we were able to, get through them and continue to work together and still be mature and professional and move on. And so after I noticed that, I'm like, okay, maybe I can go into business with someone, because it's one thing to work with someone, but it's separate once you actually say, like, we're starting a business together, and it's a different level of accountability. And so I didn't tell him initially I was doing the art. I was, I had it made up in my mind that, from a project perspective, I feel like I see what a lot of projects are missing. And again, I joined these communities, to fill a gap in my life, not to just be told, first we're part of a community, and then now it's just art, and then everything just changes as even what y'all saying, like, about Doodles. I love what they doing, but, like, again, I didn't join something that you keep flip flopping. Are we doing art? Are we doing this? Like, I didn't like that. So that was always up on my heart to, like, fill in that gap. And I want to create again, like a community, like tight knit family that I saw missing. One thing that I did love about talking to you up in Miami, I think 2 years ago, when you were just telling me about, like, all the opportunities, owning the Beezie had got you, and just be behind this timeline and all the BS in the FUD is real people connecting, doing real things together. So I love that you had said that to me in Miami, and I'm like, yeah, that's something I want to be a part of. At the time, Beezie was underneath, so that was that. But so ultimately, like, so I start letting them know, like, what I wanted to build for as a brand, and I hope everybody, you have time, check out the parent, check out the grandparent. We got one top 10 biggest inscriptions on Bitcoin. Put a lot of thought, energy, and effort into, like, into the vision about what it means to be eternal and why it matters. And then I ended up showing him a few pieces of I didn't have 44 archetypes at the time. I had about 8. And I showed him, and he was like, bro, you didn't fucking do this. I'm like, yeah, I did. He like, no, the fuck you didn't, right? So after he saw the art, I showed him the art, and then I kind of just let him know, like, what I wanted to do. Again, initially, he was like, I don't know if I want to do that again. Like, it took a lot out of me. And I'm like, well, if you don't, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I told him that. And then I think when I kind of made that clear to him, like, bro, I'm gonna do this anyway. And then he was like, oh no, fuck that. You're not gonna go do this without me. So it kind of came full circle like that. But yeah, that's kind of how it went. I didn't have to sell him too much. Mike, you're up here lying. I have to say you too much. I told him about the brand. I told him to show him the art. He was like, you didn't, he's like, you fucking really a polymath. I'm like, yeah. And something to you said earlier, Steve, like, that's me, like, about my bio. It's very hard for me to talk about myself, because I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or nothing like that. So it's very hard for me to talk about my bio, because I don't want to sound a certain way. But yeah, man, it was I told him the vision, again, what it mean to be eternal. I showed him the art, and it was after me and him had a couple tough conversations that we were able to move past. Wake up, stay professional, keep working together, and grow from. And that's when I felt like I was ready to have a conversation about him being a co-founder with me. And I'm very honored at this point. I think I think I'm the best, community leader in the world. I think I'm one of the best people in this space. Even, we talk about they're like, you wrote a piece about him up in your book, right, Steve? Like, so, just an awesome guy. Again, more proof with having someone like him that I'm doing the right thing in the universe, because it's, it's rewarded me with great people. And yeah, man. So yeah, that's it.
It's true. The man is in my book immortalized as an example of a community leader who stepped up and became part of a team based on his community leadership and his involvement, which you absolutely love. And I guess, like, on that note, so because one of the things we love to give our community, we obviously want to talk about all the things like the price and all the different things planned and all the things that'll happen the day of and how they're going to mint and all those good things, but we love giving our community a look behind the scenes. And so I love this story, and I'd love for you to, if you don't mind, and, picking it up from there. So Mike, you come on board, you say, okay, I'm bought in, I'm going to do this thing. How do you start even, like, what are the next steps for even building this sort of, you have an established brand, you have this major audience that you host because there was this gap in the market for these ordinal spaces that didn't exist when you started doing them. You went ahead and started doing those. You already were sort of deep in a couple of other communities on Bitcoin. What do you do from there? So you say, okay, I'm in, we're doing this thing. It's got to be nerve-wracking. It probably is going to be nerve-wracking up until mint and beyond, but what are those next steps? Okay, we got the art, we're doing our thing. What do you do next when he brings you on to work with him?
So yeah, I don't like being unemployed. I've actually never been unemployed since I was like 15 years old, maybe 16. I've always, even when I like, switched jobs between like major companies, like I literally wouldn't even take a day off. Like I may take 1 or 2, days in between, but normally I've never liked the idea of just being unemployed. And Polymath actually helped me a lot in being comfortable with that, switching from an employee to, an entrepreneur, somebody who's gonna basically like fend for yourself out here in the economy. And so, we had several like tough conversations, not me and him like fighting, but it was me fighting myself against what I knew I wanted to do. And he really he was a mentor to me in many ways, and helped me understand like that this was my path that I'd been forging. And so we, Polymath and I, we actually were advisors and consultants of sorts to people all over Ordinals. We worked with almost every major team within the Ordinals ecosystem, and that includes the platforms. And so, while we were building this collection, we were also building the Ordinals ecosystem behind the scenes, working across it. And so, we were running the show, we were working with projects, as advisors, as marketing and branding and community consultants. And we were also building this collection. So last year was just, it didn't matter what was happening in the market. Like we were busy 7 days a week. But we worked every day to some capacity on Bitcoin Eternals. And I watched, I was very fortunate to be able to watch Polymath create this collection. I'd like to say that I had, some hand in it, but really like this is his work. And I'm just like I was honored to be able to be like kind of a fly on the wall, someone who could like offer some tweaks and stuff. But we spent a lot of last year just building the collection. Of course, Polymath is a master marketer and brand expert. So we were building out the brand the whole time. But honestly, a lot of the work that that I've done is really just building up the network and the community. And it's not about like just building up a network to basically extract from it or to sell to it. It's to build up a network to grow the industry. And most people that produce a product or a service here, you're going to produce an NFT collection, an Ordinals collection, a token, what have you. They come out and they get a bunch of KOLs and they round them up and they put the shit out. They get everybody in, and then they try to grow a community. We took the opposite approach. We've grown a community organically through our show. And again, it's like it's about growing the industry. Like we had so many people on our stage that they told us it's the first time anyone's ever let us on a stage, and that's really the best thing that anyone's ever told me in this industry, is that we were able to give somebody a voice that wouldn't have it otherwise. But we really just building the collection all last year. There's a lot of work that goes into creating an Ordinals collection. There's a huge set of constraints. There's a cost constraint. It's really expensive, especially depending on the Bitcoin fees to inscribe your work. There's a file size constraint. Every block is limited to 4 megabytes. And if you want to get anywhere close to that, you've got to work with a miner. So when we inscribed our 4 mega grandparent, that has to be done through a miner. That can't be really done through an individual running their node. So there's like a ton of complexity here. The technical feat that was achieved with this collection, I don't think people quite have grasped with it yet. Many people have looked into it and they see it, but like the market as a whole really doesn't understand, I think, what Polymath achieved with this collection yet. But there's really like there's 44 different collections in one here. And we can get into that if you want. But yeah, we were all last year. We were working on building this collection.
Before we talk about the different collections, do you mind, for those that aren't familiar, just the high level education on a grandparent, a parent? I know many, especially like the Ordinals community, probably well aware at this point. But do you mind just a brief education on what all that even means, and why is it important? Why does it make this collection different than some of the others that might be minting on Ordinals?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So when Ordinals first launched, there was no mechanism built in the protocol to establish on-chain provenance for a collection. I mean, obviously, if you're an individual creator and you inscribe a bunch of stuff and you use the same address to do so, like everybody can coalesce around that address. But when Magic Eden launched, its Bitcoin end of the marketplace, they had to basically like get a list of inscription numbers to create a collection on their platform. That like it was basically like just kind of spreadsheet maintenance of what these collections were made of. Like there was no way to go on chain, and see like this particular inscription is related to this other one. And that's one of the things that we helped kind of spearhead. I met a gentleman goes by the name of Raktoshi in February 2023. He's the founder of Node Monks, but he's also one of the earliest contributors to the Ordinals protocol. And he actually he really took a risk on me. He didn't know me, and he helped me connect Casey Rodamore's team with Danny Yang and the engineering team at OCM. And they worked together for several months to implement recursion and parent-child provenance. But basically, what parent-child provenance does is you can create an inscription, and then using that inscription, you can create an infinite number of other inscriptions that are now inextricably linked and tied forever on chain to the original, like the parent, so to speak. So this is super important because this is not really something that you see like with Ethereum smart contracts or smart contracts on Sol, to my knowledge. This is something kind of unique to Bitcoin. And it's a really, really great use case for art, but there's a ton of other use cases as well. And to do this is quite technical. I won't get too deep into it, but basically you got to know what you're doing to be able to, because you have to actually send the parent inscription in the transactions where you're creating the children. And so there is always a risk that you could lose the parent, if you don't know what you're doing. But basically you're creating a family tree of your work. So, Polymath has a great grandparent, a grandparent, a parent, and children. And forever now, that tree sits on Bitcoin, and anybody can go and find it very simply. I can send you a link to ord.io, Ordiscan, ordinals.com, and you can actually go, you could go to that link, and then you can go like through the family tree and see all the different inscriptions that were created by Polymath.
We had another, kind of related. I'm guessing here in the chat. I want to pull it up so I give proper credit. As Kramer asks, can you share why you chose block 9 sats as opposed to another variant? What would your second variety be otherwise? And will the frames be utilized in any form or just for demo?
The frames I'm working on teaming up with a framing company that we can get some dope frames. So that's kind of in the works. Because the kind of frames I actually want to use are expensive, so we're trying to work out something to get those down. And I really wanted to use the frames in marketing to show people that how amazing the art looks in the frame. Not to say other art doesn't, but just really how great it looks in the frame. And when I have been to certain places, like the 16 Chapel, and see those grandiose, beautiful frames, I wanted to create art that can fit in those frames. That to the other question, why block 9 sats? Block 9 sats because they're the earliest transactions up in Bitcoin. And as I'm using this opportunity to create art, I wanted to use it to preserve the past. And so when you get into certain cultures, like the Trojans or the Anunnaki, or you get into these ancient cultures that I preserved, I thought it was only fitting to preserve it on the earliest sats. From early Bitcoin transactions, again, to honor, the beginning of Bitcoin. yeah, so that's why. And the second question, actually, if I did some other sats, I would probably go block 78 just because, again, Hal Finney and that, history there. So, yeah, hope I answered the question right.
I love that sort of thing because I think it shows the depth that, like, particularly in the Ordinals ecosystem, people care. I actually think it is people sometimes talk about the difficulty around Bitcoin. I actually always say in Ordinals, to me, it's a feature, not a bug, just like when it was hard for everyone to release an ETH collection so that there wasn't a billion ETH derivatives coming out. I think very similar, like the difficulty and the time and the effort matters. I even see, we have a chat, someone saying, wow, this is good art. I thought Ordinals had to be MS Paint level art only. So, shout out to the chat for enjoying the being an art enjoyer. I do have to ask though, like I hear the depth and the romanticism in which you both talk about, Ordinals and the Bitcoin blockchain and the different, SAT opportunities to like inscribe to give that historical provenance. Are there any points through this difficulty, this time, money, and energy when you think, fuck it, we should just drop on Ether and L2? I know that you're Ordinals people through and through, but is the frustration ever said like, maybe we should just take the easy route, or is it just one of those, hey, nothing, easy was ever worth doing?
Hell no. It was always, again, I've always been an artist. Again, I didn't want to put none on ETH because I felt like it wasn't, permanent. And so, when Ordinals came out, again, I was working with a team and, a lot of stuff I would have rather have gave to that team than did for myself. But no, like when I saw that, like, wow, I can put something on chain that can be permanent forever. And it's actually like on Bitcoin, like it's fucking Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin changed my life. You know what I mean? So it was like Bitcoin or nothing. Like, and if you get to know me, I'm like an all or none type of person. Like if we doing it, we're going all the way out. If we're not doing it, we ain't doing it at all. Like I'm not a halfway guy or at all. So when the opportunity to actually put, at the time out, data and art and it just anything on Bitcoin was made available, it was like, okay, how to work within these constraints, how to, even trying to time, like the SAT for VByte to be able, because most people don't understand, like if SATs one SAT per VByte, and let's say it costs 1,000 to inscribe, well, as soon as it go to 2 SATs, now it's 2,000. When it go to 3 SATs, now it's 3,000. So like each SAT it goes up, it costs more, like 100% more, right? So the difference between 5 sats and 10 sats is literally like 2x the money, like literally. So even trying to time, like the meme pool, just to catch, low activity, was cool. And you inscribe some here, you inscribe some there, and but it was Bitcoin or nothing. Again, even with the whole eternal, mentality is one I have. Again, of course, everybody read the 4-maker. If you really read it and you understand what I'm saying, like everything that I'm leading my life to, even down to my children, is that, do something that can be remembered forever. Do something that can be legendary. Do something that can be eternal. And so Bitcoin is eternal. And I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah, it's a really romantic way of thinking about it, right? Like Bitcoin is eternal, Bitcoin Eternals. It has a good ring to it. So the goal here, I guess, is build a community. You're coming on the heels of the Taproot Wizards Mint, which, look, a lot of people are, upset because, a lot of people, it shocks me. People spent 5 years filming, videos of themselves in showers and wizard costumes only to sell at a loss within 24 hours was, it is what it is. I guess it just didn't cook up to 1 Bitcoin. And that's why a lot of people were involved. But you're sitting here, you're building on Bitcoin. So there's a goal, effectively, like, look, we've been in this community. I think the meta in in Web3, we've talked about this. The meta in Web3, in our opinion, is build and then sell, right? Like we saw it with Good Vibes Club, and they did well. We saw it with Taproot Wizards, and they sold out. Well, no matter what people say, that was a successful mint. Secondary market, they don't determine the secondary market price. And so I think for that matter, they did, you could say it was a successful mint. So you've built and you've sold. So tell us, let's do a little brass tacks. If people are interested and they're saying, like, look, I'm joining this because I want to join a community. I'm joining this because I want to be part of people who are truly building real things on Bitcoin. What are the mint details and what should they be looking out for?
Well, I mean, first I want to say too, like, I'm very optimistic that our industry will grow and it will evolve and mature. And like, I do think there will be a difference between, different types of art, different types of, PLPs. It won't just be like this one, size fits all. I see, Bitcoin Eternals is like I say, I'm going to do a live space later today with Magic Eden. I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to go live for one of my offices to let people know how I roll, how I live. Again, I really drive Rolls Royces in real life. I literally, like, my brand. In my other businesses, I treat people, I give 7-star hospitality. If you come to the doors of any of my businesses, you will be treated like a king, a queen, of God. I mean, we go out our way to make people feel. Again, I love that quote is, people forget, what you do and what you say, but they never forget how you make them feel. And, that's one of the ethos of, and, we read that daily, like with my staff. And it's about how you make people feel. And so again, here with Bitcoin Eternals, again, it's more than just art. It's more than PFP. It's more than community. This is, like a luxury brand that we building. I don't think a lot of people know that, like, in 2021, the Ethereum, art market cap got to like 16 billion. And like right now it's about 6 billion total. And, that's projected to go back to like 30 billion, which is still small, thinking about that. We're not even talking about Ordinals, and we're not talking about Soul. We're not talking about all the other new innovation that's about to be unlocked in America because Trump is favoring, crypto and creating laws that, some of the best creators can actually, raise money to actually create dope shit for crypto. So we got this hotel win, coming for us. And, even most people don't know, like Bank of America is now offering, their clients art, saying like digital art, creating digital art portfolios, really explaining how you can preserve wealth and create wealth through art. And so, bigger than that is my job as as the founder of this project to go out and get, Bitcoin Eternals in the Bank of America's portfolio, get them showing their clients our art, telling their clients the story that we kind of sharing here, and educating the world about what makes art on Bitcoin different from all the other digital art. And that's something too here I don't really hear people really addressing a lot. But again, my job as a co-founder is to go out and make the art that my community loves. Let the world know, let the institutions know, let the Smithsonian institution know we here, get it there, have it everywhere. And again, it's 44 collections and one only 100, because I did want to have still, you hear 4444, but it's really 101 in each piece. And I still want to keep it scarce, which I know that increases value for my holders over the long term. So, so yeah, I do think people are missing that. I do think people in this industry are not really knowledgeable about, like luxury brands. And I want to give education. And like I say, Louis Vuitton do over 15 billion a year, and Dior do, do 10 billion, and Rolex do 10 billion. Like all these brands, and no one expects nothing back in return. You don't get to be a part of no community. You don't have access. You don't get to go to yacht parties. You don't get to, go to dinner. And people buy those things because they want the status and they like the brand. And I do see our industry evolving into that, where people will want to own stuff. I believe in real life. I built a physical empire, and another thing that got me into crypto and NFTs, I want to build a digital empire as well. And I do think that the pieces that I've created here will be something that people will want to put in their digital empire. And I just think that when you see, I see people in the timeline saying like Taproot's raised 20 million. That's small. Like, and we as the industry have to think bigger, to attract more. And think about the people that's gonna come in the future who don't have the education about what's going on here. But now that, again, we have favorable terms, with the, new SEC commissioner, and with the new, crypto Caesar that's actually going to allow us, who've been building this whole time, to actually, go out and present it in a way that people don't look at it as a scam. People don't look at it as, the 2021 cycle of NFTs put a bad taste in a lot of people mouth from the outside, and so we have time to fix and build that. So, bigger than that, like I said, I'm building a real brand here. It's not just, it's all of it. And that's why I call it luxury. Like, luxury is more, it's doing more, it's being more intentional, it's trying harder, it's going the extra mile. It's all those things. And that's what we're doing here with this collection. That's the foundation first. And I'm really excited about that. We'll be talking in the future. It'll be billions of art sold up on Bitcoin. And it looked like Taproot really didn't make that much, and so I'm looking forward to that. Again, shout out to Tyroot team. Again, they've been out here really bringing eyes and attention to Bitcoin and to Ordinals. And so I think we should promote that and celebrate that success. And again, I love the Taproot Wizard art. I love the story behind it. It's, to me, it's a collector's piece. And again, I think we need, I think me and Udi share that same mentality. We need more art, more artists, more everything. We don't need less. This whole extractive mindset needs to go away. If you like something, buy it. If you don't buy it. But again, a lot of the stuff we do in the real world, nobody's buying a Rolex saying, "Oh man, it didn't go up 2x this week. Fuck it, I'm gonna sell it." That's not how people think. And I do know this industry will evolve. That people will look for nice pieces that have great stories, have great teams, have a great brand, and they want to own it as a status to say, like, "Hey, I own one of those," and to be a prideful thing. And so that's what I'm definitely here building.
Yeah, I love that idea. Like one of the things, that I've noticed about, I think, like one of the things that I've personally noticed about Ordinals in general is there's nothing low effort about it. And part of it is the fact that, and I think low effort stuff gets snuffed out pretty quickly. I think part of it is the fact that it is extremely difficult to work with to begin with, even more difficult to do high quality when you're choosing individual sats, whether they're Block 9 or Bitcoin Pizza sats or whatever they might be. Mike, you said earlier that this is, I think you said 44 collections in one or something to that degree. Can you extrapolate what that is? Because I think you talk about the layers of the effort, not just where you're putting it, not just how you're putting it, not just the dream, not just the community you're building, but the actual thing you are building required a lot of effort. So I'd love for you to build on that if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I will defer to Polymath since we have him here because he really he created all of this. But I'll just explain to people, like, when you normally look at an art collection or a PFP collection, if it's generative to any degree, meaning that there was like a code algorithm that basically took traits and combined the traits into a single piece. Normally what you have is like one single base, like for example, in a PFP collection, you've got one single base character. And then you just, you build a bunch of traits around that character. You run the randomization algorithm, and that's how you produce the collection. What Polymath did here is he actually created 44 different base characters, and each of these are called eternal archetypes, and each one represents a different historical culture. And the whole idea and concept behind Bitcoin Eternals was to basically, store forever the history of humanity on Earth. And so there's every single culture you can think of is represented, represented in this collection. But what you'll see when you go to Magic Eden and you start to filter on the collection is that each eternal archetype is its own collection. It's its own base character with a ton of traits behind it. There's skin stones, which are these rare gems that make up the skin of the character. There's these really, like deep meaning backgrounds. Every single background has a deep meaning. And then there's actually overlays as well. And so when people look at these, there's nothing that's ever been put on Bitcoin that's like this. And I haven't really seen any collections on Sol or Ethereum or anywhere else that look like this, where you've got 44 different characters, each facing different directions as well. And that has a meaning as well. It's representative of the different perspectives that we all have as humans, right? And these different cultures had different perspectives of what it meant to be here, to have life on Earth based on their time. And the geographical location.
And like their religions and like their customs and like the type of food, the different ways that each people got married and valued life. It's all of that. But go ahead. I needed to make sure you added that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'll let you go, Polymath, because this is really your masterwork. So I try my best to represent him when he's not here, but when he's here, I really want him to be the one to talk about it.
Yeah, what was the whole question?
Just the effort and the thought, because you mentioned the 44, sort of things in one, and the by the way, like really cool. Like I'm a nerd, so I enjoy. I mean, I think we're in good company here as nerds, talking about like all the books we read and questions we ask. And I think there's something to be said about what you're doing from an effort perspective, because at least for me, like that's a big deal. Is like I personally think it's important to talk about like I love like preserving the history on chain because Bitcoin is forever. So it's like those sorts of things are really interesting to me. So you know, definitely more detail on the collection I think is interesting for those who are looking at it.
So, you know, I wanted to again like preserve. I just I wanted to put dope ass art on Bitcoin, and I was like, you know, how can I preserve dope cultures? And so when it takes one, you know, I like the Atlanteans, and like, you know, again, I'm a big book reader, and you know, I read all the Plato stuff, and just when you really, you know, go deeper, there's a lot of ancient people that talked about Atlantis, you know, not just Plato in this place and what they history was. And it's like I don't want the future generations to forget that we did have people that we didn't get to really learn much about because it got deleted, you know, based on natural catastrophes. And some literature I read says it was, you know, like self-inflicted. It's almost like you know, it's like a family when two brothers, you know, got bombs and they bomb each other. Kind of like, you know, like Game of Thrones. If you look like on the Dance of the Dragon, like you got the actual dragon family fighting, using their biggest weapon to preserve themselves. They're using the dragons against themselves. And so some of the stuff I've read is kind of sound like that could happen to them, where, you know, they self-imploded from the inside, you know, due to pride and arrogance. And again, it's something else too with these cultures is to learn. You know, it's like again, people who don't learn from history are condemned and repeat it. And, you know, again, we need to learn and grow and evolve and be better. But every detail of everything, even in like the 444, again, like it's a reason why it's 4,444 monuments, again, because I live by 4 cardinal virtues, which is to create, which is to have courage, which is to have discipline, and to always persevere no matter what. The 4 neoclouds of DNA is adenine, cysteine, glutamine, thymine. These is the 4 elements of earth, earth, water, fire, air. It's the 4 seasons of all of our lives: spring, summer, fall, winter. I say this on the spaces. I hope everyone is in their best season, you know, right now or going into it. But every piece of this, you know, collection is detailed. You know, one of the backgrounds is, you know, named after one of my kids. I got like when you see, you know, like the Grand Canyon, when you study ancient maps, it's called the Temple of Isis. So if you look there, and it's the reason why they don't let no one research there. It's like, so what was really there? So I put that in there. I got COVID in there. I got all the backgrounds named. I got the Sphinx, the Giza, again, like with the skin stones. I wanted to, you know, again, we have, you know, gemstones and earth minerals that I'm sure we have today. And in our time, like we value diamonds, but in the times of even like, you know, 600 years ago, like they value more rubies, sapphires, emeralds, you know, than diamonds. And so with that being said, who knows what the people may value in the future? I wanted to preserve what we value today, and also what they valued in the past. That then, who knows if the equator shifts, you know, 2 degrees, all of a sudden half the earth is underwater, the other half is above water. How much minerals do we lose? What's left? So again, it's over. I think it's nearly 50 skin stones, and I even created a few like myself. Like I invented like Bitcoin granite, which I think is one of my favorite skin stones. But yeah, I pay attention to every little part of detail. I named everything with intention and meaning, knowing that over time people will, you know, learn little more about the collection as they go on and they dig deep and they look. And I plan on, like I say, I'm building a brand. You know, this is not just, you know, some collection we putting out and, you know, have fun, build a community. Like, no, this is a real serious thing. I put the Athenians in there for a reason. I put the Nagas in there for a reason. I put the Giants in there. I put the Mayans. I put the Aztecs. I put the Trojans. I put the Spartans. You know, I put the Dravidians. All this matter. It's Neanderthals in there because, again, I said on Space yesterday, but whoever wrote the Bible, if you read it literally, it says, "Let us take man and make it in our image." So it's like, so the man was there, or whatever that was. Maybe that was Neanderthal, and then they added their essence to it. You got the Cro-Magnon, which was supposed to be the man that lived 800 to 1,000 years, which were the bigger ones, with, you know, that we would call giants, but they were big, they lived longer, they were smarter. And, you know, from all our study, it's like those people were so smart and advanced that whoever created us was like, nah, we need to kind of find a hybrid between a Neanderthal and a Cro-Magnon. And to me, it's where you get the Homo sapien, which is who we are, where we don't live forever. We are brilliant. We're not as cannibalistic as Neanderthal, but some of us still value the great physical traits of, like, again, the athletes that we see. That's why we love sports. They have that physicalness that they probably inherited from the Neanderthal. So everything is very intentional. I'm looking forward to going over every trait, every archetype with everybody as time go on, and really give people a deeper knowledge about our essence as a whole, and really hoping that we all can grow to have more value for humanity as a whole. Because even one of the archetypes is someone from Mars, and a Mars wouldn't see a black person, a white person, somebody who like the Cowboys or the Bulls. They see Earthlings, and we all need to realize we're more alike than different. And again, I want that all represented in the collection as well. And again, what it look in different directions, it's like, again, it's true perspectives. Steve, even you and Cap, like, y'all both do y'all show, but y'all see life your own way. Y'all both got to this point, different paths, and now y'all here together, y'all rocking together. Same thing with me and Mike. Same thing with me and everybody on the stage, and even how me and you met, Steve. And it's a beautiful thing, and I think I wanted that represented in the art as well. Again, I want people to stare at the art and feel prideful, feel empowered about humans and being a human. But yeah.
Well, two final questions. First of all, I love the thought that goes into this sort of thing. Like, again, like, we're getting a lot of people in the chat who like appreciate. I think the story.
Before we go, like, bro, I was not expecting you to ask these dope ass questions, bro. Like, you've gotten better. I don't know how you keep fucking getting better, but you're getting better and better and better and better and better. But I was not expecting this level of questioning. Like, you don't know how grateful I came on the show today, because you allowing me to go deeper than I've been able to so far. So, bro, keep it coming. This is just awesome.
No, appreciate you, and appreciate like I said, like, I'm somebody who is like appreciative of high effort things. And I think that that's what we have here. I guess like a final question on this, or two final questions on that note, because you have like all this high effort going into it. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask, and I'm sure y'all are, thought this one might be coming, but there's been some things going around about the art and the creation of it. And I just want you to speak to that. There are accusations of it, but obviously you've refuted it. You've done it on Spaces, not trying to drag it down, and we'll get out of here on a more fun question. But that there is that sort of discussion going around. And is it, well, one, like, feel free to respond any way you want, but two, like, even on that note, is it frustrating to a point where you're like, look, like, we've put all this work into it, and now this thing comes out and people are talking about it?
No, actually, like I say, I've people don't know who I am, but I've been successful in life already. Like, I've been a top artist around the world. I've dealt with controversy and negativity my whole life, right? And so I don't really care for nobody trying to come paint their narrative. Like, somebody who don't even buy Ordinals, people who not even active up in our community. No one on earth is here to judge my art. Like, I'm not here to judge nobody else's art. Again, I work with singers who sing as good as Whitney Houston, and I work with singers. If you take somebody like Travis Scott, he completely sounds nothing like that. If you take off all the reverb and all the, I don't give it. I pause sometimes. I don't want to say the word. It's not my job to give away people's secrets, but he definitely has a template that he don't share with everybody. Because if you had the goddamn template, you fucking sound like him. And him and his engineer figured out their secret sauce. So with your second question, I really don't give two shits with like people like that. Like, again, like, waking up, tweeting about somebody every day, I think you're a weirdo. To judge my art, again, like, like I said, flat out, if you think you can just prompt this or AI it, go show me. You can't do that. It, like, the way it's layered. Again, we did use recursion to get it cheaper to even put on the blockchain. So, and again, I'm gonna make one on the show with Elizabeth live. I'm gonna let her pick her traits in front of everybody. I might let somebody in the audience pick the traits they want to say. You may say that you want a Spartan, with the Anunnaki Kane background, with the Rosetta Stone overlay, and you may want, the diamond skin stone. You'll be able to pull up, and it can happen. So honestly, I really don't care. I don't focus on that. People try to create their narratives all the time. I'm here to do greatness. I'm here to build one of the dopest communities that ever existed. Again, more family-ish. I'm here to throw some of the best events with my community. I'm here to put the dopest art on Bitcoin. I'm here to go put Bitcoin Eternals in some of the best museums around the world. I'm here to inspire others to do something that can be eternal. I'm here to focus on bringing other artists. Again, another thing what I want to do with the collection as an artist, I want to up and coming artists to know, like, you don't have to just make one PFP face in one direction and throw treats around it. You can be creative. Don't be afraid, because even in branding, what can happen is, and the value in the brand of having one PFP face in one direction, it's like, for sure when you see it. And so from a branding perspective, it's why the PFP thing worked, because you knew, like, this thing is looking this direction. It's all a part of this. And so I took a risk as an artist, putting these different type of characters, and then also let them face different directions there where I can lose branding. It's like some of these look completely different. Some of them are, again, an Athenian and a Kushite are two different type of cultures and people. So I ran the risk of, people being to see one of them and see another one and not correlate them without having prior knowledge. But I wanted to be creative. I wanted to not be afraid to try something new and be different and run the risk of having a bigger story than just an individual piece, while giving the individual pieces high value. So I'm not here to get caught up in nobody narrative. I'm here to build. I'm here to, again, what I'm looking forward to, even in our community, again, I want to know everybody's birthday. I want to know your kid's birthday. I want to, create a family environment. I want the network effect that you and Captain got, me and Good Things got. I want this to happen in the universe. So I'm not getting caught in that. And again, if you could just make it, go make it. Show me, prove it to me. And again, I'm not going to come around and give away my secret sauce so somebody can copy it and then do it better. Or again, we in an industry where, let's be honest here. All the VCs or half the devs here is just looking for a good idea to steal and try to beat you to it. Like, this is a fucking fact. We can be mature and grown about that. And so, again, I'm not here to play into nobody narrative. I'm here to be eternal. I'm here to live with a certain integrity and character, and let my actions show that I'm a person that's very intentional, and I don't mean well, I do well, and I want the best for our whole humanity, and that's what I'm here to do, Steve. I'm here to be the example in the world I want to see, and I'm here to be a dope ass artist. I'm here to be a dope ass community member, and so, bro, that's what I'm here for, bro. I'm not here for nobody narrative trying to make up stories about me and these people. Again, we live in a world where, again, you could you compliment somebody 100 times, you say 2 negative things about them, and that's all they remember. Like, that's just really the world we live in. I've been known that, and so I see a lot of jealousy, I see a lot of hate, but it's not gonna stop nothing over here. I'm still gonna get out here and build. I'm still gonna take meetings with Bank of America. I'm still gonna get out here and push Ordinals. I'm here still, every Ordinal creator. Again, I don't know how you got a problem with me or don't want to support me when I'm going to get out here and use all my energy and resources to bring more light to the whole industry. And so that's what I'm here to do, Steve. I'm here to grow Ordinals. I'm here to link up with some of the best people in the world. We're here to have amazing families, develop amazing relationships, and again, live a way that the people in the future could look back and say, wow, that type of integrity, that type of character, that type of creativity is valuable, and they can pull inspiration from it in the future.
Love that.
Yeah, I want to say that the two things that
hold on, bro, real quick, bro. Hold on, Mike. Let Steve respond to that. Hold on.
Oh no. All good. I was actually gonna toss to Mike, because I was gonna say, like, appreciate the real quick on that. I appreciate the respect, the perspective there, because I'm very much, I'm sort of drama-free person. I'm one that stays out of the fray personally, just because I'm a big believer in sort of the look, like, the truth generally comes out in things, but, like, I also know that there are people who like to stir shit for their own reasons, and that's just my, like, I generally try to stay clear of those who I know stir shit for their own personal reasons. But Mike, yeah, go ahead. I was going to toss to you because I was curious your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I posted up to the top a tweet. It's day 14 that our official Bitcoin Internals account has been suspended. 2 weeks ago, somebody had our account suspended. Like, we're very confident in that. This was not an accident or some sort of like mishap. We've been attacked in various ways. One of the ways in which we're being attacked is there is an account named Bitcoin Bugsy that is making allegations that there's 2 allegations that he's making. One is that Patrick is not the artist, that he contracted somebody to create the work and is parading around as the originator of it. You cannot listen to this man go on, like, he can go on for 5 to 8 fucking hours about what this collection is, what it means. You can't listen to somebody like that and then say they're not the creator. Like, there's no fucking way. Number 2, the number two allegation is that he created this collection using AI. And this is a stupid narrative that's going around. Like there are like literally like, I don't know how many spaces going on every day where people are talking about, you know, is it okay if we use AI to create art? Like this is a nonsense conversation. Everybody is using AI. Every single person that has a cell phone that connects to the internet and is using any kind of application, including Twitter, is using AI. You just don't even realize it because the developers of those applications don't explain to you, you know, how the AI plays into your use of the application. The same kind of conversations that are happening about AI and art happened with Photoshop. You know, people like totally freaked out and said like Photoshop was going to ruin the art industry. And it's just like anything that comes along, any tool that comes along, it's like, oh, is it fair to use this tool? It's a nonsense notion. We live in a world of capitalism and free markets where, like, you know, we're all in a competitive situation where people are going to use whatever tools are available. But so just to be clear, Polymath used AI to create this collection. He used Photoshop to create this collection. He used you know, randomization algorithms to produce the images. Like we,
and I drew stuff up on my iPad. Again, like, you know, some of this has my literally signature of me drawing a beat. Like this is not for play. And my whole thing is, again, is Travis Scott supposed to come out and tell y'all like his template? Is he supposed to tell you what he's using on his voice to give off what it gives off? Like, no, that's not. You know, again, it's not my place to come. Again, I work in this industry. Again, I started. I want to be clear. Again, if you have a fun, you know, you can't go around bragging and talk about it. That's against the SEC. But I have a fun. Like I know how VCs think. I work in this industry. I'm an advisor for a lot of, you know, VCs. Like people steal ideas. So it's like if you think I'm gonna get on stage because one or two, I don't give a fuck if 1,000 people say, tell me exactly what you did, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Who is anybody to tell me that I owe them an explanation for anything that I create? Who? Where was this person when I was gaming at 8 years old? Where was this person at any point in my life to come tell me I owe them an explanation? So I'm gonna say to anybody listening, you think I owe you an explanation, you can fuck off. I don't owe nobody explanation, but I owe my family, I owe my friends, I owe the people who depend on me to put my effort in the universe to make their life better. That's who I owe. But anybody listening or anybody think that you can question what I do, I'm in a meeting in a 3-piece suit with Michael Sarah. I'm a serious human being. I'm a man of consequence. I'm a man of intention. So I'm not letting some lame people who sit around and just doing negativity and businessmen and all these people, bro. They need to go out and create some, and won't they go build something dope for somebody else? Won't they go create dope communities versus tear other people down? And the people, if y'all listen to these people, y'all interact with these people, you need to go look in the mirror because you ain't doing shit to be eternal. All that drama, all that stuff, you're not going to be remembered. You're just another person on the timeline looking for engagement through negativity. And again, we live in a world. I could tell Steve, he's with the most handsome guy in the world. I tell him twice, I don't like his shoes. He tell everybody, oh, Patrick don't never like my shoes. Like, this is what people do. And again, I'm going to stand on business. This is my art. It's from my heart. Again, as I unpack all the traits, all the collections. Again, one of the backgrounds named after one of my child. So I'm not here to let nobody tell me what I did. I curated all the backgrounds. I treated everything with the coloring. I made it the way it is. And so I'm not here to tell nobody my secret sauce. So somebody can beat me before even I do another collection or if I ever do one. But this is my secret sauce, and I'm very proud of the art the way it came out. I've got nothing but amazing compliments. People have never changed their PFP. People have never had a PFP. People have told me that this art makes them feel something up in their soul. And so honestly, Steve, I don't even care to talk about those people. They're dead to me. They don't exist. I'm gonna focus on good things. I don't focus on bad things. I don't focus on the bad people in the world. I focus on the good things in the world. I don't focus on how crypto can be used as a way to gel us mentally. Crypto can literally be used as a way to fuck off the whole financial system, or it can be used to liberate and free us and allow us more freedom. And so what I do is I focus on the good in the world, and I'm focused on the greatness of this art. I feel fucking damn good when I see it. People change their PFP, they feel good. And again, y'all about to see this up in museums, you know, and it's gonna be a wonderful thing.
I love that. No, go ahead, Mike. I'll let you get in here, and then I'm sure Troy will turn the vibes around too, because Troy's a good vibes type guy. But go ahead, Mike. And by the way, Mike, also talking to a home crowd, you know that based on my my take on AI and art and kind of the way we talk about it. It's like, I will say, like, as an example, we had a new segment today, that Clawfee with Captain with Beezie. I spun up a something in Canva. It was fine. Then I went and I was like, wait a minute, what if I put my apes into AI? And then what if I also put the claws in AI? And what if I, work on prompting? And after, a little bit of prompting, which it takes work, it's a skill too, we had a really good graphic. And I got a lot of compliments on that graphic. And it was me using AI. But Mike, I'll let you get in here. We'll go to Troy, and then we'll give everyone the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we're all about the good vibes. It does. This is a serious issue because, Steve, you come from a corporate background like myself. Like, very well, like, the culture of corporate America and really just like large companies and large organizations in general. They don't have any patience or appetite for the type of risk that it would take to come into an industry where people are spreading lies rampantly about one another. People are treating each other, horribly on the timeline like they do here. And so, like, we really need to just like work to grow we need to grow the culture of our industry so that we can grow the actual industry. And so what we're trying to do, me and Polymath, through the show, through everything we've done, and definitely through the family that we're creating with Bitcoin Eternals, is to set a new standard for how people treat each other here. And so we really, like you said, we really don't give a shit about a Bitcoin Bugsy or any of these people who want to oppose us and just like come at us for no reason whatsoever. We're really here about the people that matter, which are the ones that are like pushing every day. And like Polymath said, like we have seen so many people change their PFP to a Bitcoin Eternals. It's been extremely humbling. We've got so many people in our Discord and in our DMs, like ready to mint, excited to, build a luxury brand that starts on Bitcoin, but this is not the end of it. Like, I think me very well. Like I'm very optimistic about reaching outside of this space and bringing in people, individuals and companies to grow this industry together. So I'm really excited. There's
something else before you go to the other point with what we build. And something else too about when you become eternal. You have access to me at a deep level. Again, if you got art collections you want to do, if you are an artist, if you are an entrepreneur, if you anything, like I've been very fortunate in this life. Again, I read all damn every day. I know damn a little bit about everything. Well, my friends that's all 10 years older than me named me Polymath a long time ago. But again, you're gonna have access to me at if you're an author, if you're a movie writer, if you're an actor, if you anything. I know people in every industry. And I also know, like, some people just need to be told what they're doing wrong. A lot of people, you buy a narrative from a movie or you buy a narrative from one book because you only read one. You didn't read, 40 to actually have something to, correlated to. So as in our community will have access to me again at a deeper level. And if you got ideas, that you want to bring, to life, I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to give you my time and resources and lead you in the right direction and help you get your ideas off the ground and into the universe. Go ahead.
Steve, I know you got Troy in here with a question. I do apologize. I hate to do this. I need to give you a heads up though, so we don't rug anyone unintentionally. Doing everything I can to keep things live. We got 3% on the connected phone, 100% on the other one, plugged in the wrong device, and none of the wireless charges are working. So we've got, I don't know, maybe a couple minutes here, and it's going to shut down because there's nothing I can do without rugging the space, unfortunately.
The tech problems are great. All right, let's get Troy's take. Troy, maybe hit us in I guess 60 seconds or less, because Cap's about to rug the whole space sooner or later here, and then we'll get the mint details to make sure everyone gets it before we get out of here.
Oh yeah, sure. First of all, what's up? Yeah, man. It's very easy to. I'll say this: very few critics on CT and trolls. I mean, God love them. It makes it healthy in some points. Sometimes it's not. That create a sustainable business based on their trolls and negative tweets and stuff like that. And as far as Polymath, this guy, does this matter? What I'm about to say, like, he's actually a and this is from one of his opponents in life that are now friends. I mean, confirm that, like, he's a millionaire, right? Okay, does that matter? Maybe not. But does it matter when this person is here every day for a very long time, building and not trying to flex that as much and trying to do something, being naked out there in the timeline to launch something? You know, a lot of trolls don't launch anything at all, right? So it's good to comment. It's good to like try to protect some people from certain things. But, you know, it's like being booed by the audience while they're still standing in line for tickets, right? Or it's like, you know, it's like going to a dinner, not eating at all, but doing a Yelp review, right? So it's like, let these motherfuckers cook and the market will assess it. And, you know, it's, that's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, Ordinals, baby.
It's super well said. It's super well said because I find that the biggest critics of some of the stuff I do have never done it before, and I run into that quite frequently. And it is hilarious to see the trolls troll on as you know, people like I had somebody making fun of like the work that we do for our clients over the weekend as far as like, you know, the jingles and things like that. And I was like, all right, go to work. Let me see how you do. Man in the arena, but I guess before we get out of here, we probably got like 1% on Cap's phone and this thing's going to die. So I got to ask, what are the mint details? What do people need to know before they get out of here? And then we'll try to close them down before Cap's phone dies. And I appreciate all your time this morning.
So we mentioned Friday, 4-4 again, all the fours, everything's intentional. 4-4 we mentioned on Magic Eden. It's the first window is going to start at, I think, not 10 a.m. Eastern time. Is when you know, for the chosen list. Again, it's 444 chosen spots, and those people, you know, will have access to mint more than everyone else. Again, something else that's been amazing. Like people was like, why can I only mint 3? Why can I mint 10? It's so everything has been amazing. So you know, be there on Magic Eden on, you know, this Friday, and I'm excited to, you know, grow the family, do some dope shit on Bitcoin, and fucking get ready to, you know, build out Bitcoin and build out Ordinals and build out our you know, crypto. You know, what we do every day, all of us here. You know, the more odds, the more capital, the better for all of us that's here early. So let's fucking go.
Love it. Go ahead, Mike. Any final thoughts before we let you get out of here?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just really excited. Like, you know me very well. I was very honored to be featured in you and Scott's book. And you know, like I said, like I was kind of done trying to be like the lead of a community. Like officially, like I've been sort of an unofficial, you know, leader in multiple communities since I left OCM. But you know, I'm just really excited because we already have this like amazing community. We haven't even minted yet, and we're really building a community of communities. We've seen this done a few times, but it was sort of informal. This is very intentional. I'm personally curating the 444 chosen, and so if anybody is interested, you know, you can just reach out to me. We're looking for the best and brightest, and we're really trying to build a network that has true network effects. Like Polymath said, you're going to get access to him, but you're also going to get access to everybody that's in our community, and that's really where it is. Like, you know, my saying, the people are the alpha. Like, it's fucking true. If you know the right people in this world, there's really no limits to what you can do. And I'm just extremely optimistic about where we're going in this industry, and excited to build, you know, like a family that's going to stick together through the bull and the bear, and build some of the best things to come.
Love it. Well, look, that said, appreciate y'all stopping by. Check that out. I think it's cool. I like the art. We got really good feedback from the chat, really good feedback all around. Cap's phone is going to die any second now. So I'm just going to go right into wrap. Cap, we'll skip cleanup.
I do have a couple, just rapid fire. I've got 2%, so I think we're good. Low power mode is the alpha. I did that. It's the first time I've ever done it on Spaces. So I was wondering, like, I'm going to flip this. We might lose some audio, but no issues. It held us on, because had I not flipped it, we would have rugged probably like 20 minutes ago. But yeah, low power mode got us a lot of juice out of those last single digit percentages. 3 rapid fire wins, Steve. I pinned these up top. Klanos just announced today they've been nominated for a Webby Award. That's kind of a big deal on the internet. So go vote a fellow Web3 native brand up top as they go for the Premier Internet Awards. We also had some Binance shenanigans this morning, Steve. I know neither of us are big in the meme coin streets, but they apparently changed how they were doing their margin calls on some perps or something. And the TLDR is, I don't know, there was a dozen or so coins that it affected pretty big, like down like maybe 50%, give or take. And then last but not least, if anyone's looking for another space to go to after Steve takes us home here, I just pinned up top. There's a Thrive protocol space that just started a few minutes ago. They recently announced a Polygon is the new ecosystem they're supporting. It's 2.4 million of the Polygon token, which is several $100,000. Good one to pay attention if you're a builder looking for some funds and haven't picked your L2 yet. I know we've been talking a lot of Ordinals, but want to at least give that some love. The team over at Thrive is great and supports many of the ecosystems. But yeah, that's all I've got today. Great show. Really appreciate it. It was great to connect with many new Ordinals enjoyers. So welcome back anytime. We run this back every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. The carousel is pinned up top. I'll drop that all the way to the left as well. If you've not hit those reminders for the rest of the week, do that as Steve plays us out.
Yeah, like, look, I mean, good conversation all around. I like, I like when we get to explore other ecosystems. We're not as deep in Ordinals. We had Udi on last week. We're talking this week about Bitcoin Eternals, and I love continuing to grow the community. New segment was awesome today. Got really good feedback from the Beezie folks, or from the, I should say the folks using Beezie. I haven't talked to our Beezie friends yet. Hopefully they enjoyed it. But from the folks who are using it, the people drawing the claw, the people winning. So I'll be sending those out later today when I get to come up from air from all our meetings, and appreciate everyone who came through. Always a good day. We'll be back bright. I think we don't actually have guests for the rest of the week, which is a rarity for us lately. We've been doing basically 2 straight weeks of guests, so a little bit of a breather tomorrow, a little longer conversation. But thanks to everyone who came through this morning. We'll talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.